What's that
What up, people?
noise in the
My
background?
name is Lewis Lee, and this is Planet Traffic. Can you hear me?
What's up,
So,
guys?
everybody in Facebook and YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. We do this every Thursday night live. We have different guests on. Tonight, we're just hanging out, talking car stuff. But check us out. Check out the YouTube channel. And we have a lot of previous videos of entertainers, companies, builders, anything to do with automotive. We got it. What up, fellas?
What's
Hanging out.
hanging in? Just trying to
we had an
survive.
exciting week. We had an exciting week today, or this week.
Yeah.
The city's they're working on me a little bit, but hey, it's part of the game, I guess.
That's so uncool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta have rules because people would have all kind of crazy stuff going on if you don't. So, you know.
What are they doing to you? What's the issue?
Well, my bus is too long. It's 40 feet, and in the city you can't have anything over 30 feet. So that's one of the problems. So I'm
okay, so next time you're in Ohio, build a short bus instead of a long bus.
yeah.
So
Suppose you-
there's your
suppose you
next
had a-
video, Lewis.
Big camper, though.
You
Yeah.
raised the school bus. Now you're just going to shorten it up a little bit. Just push
Yeah.
it to the limit. Do the
couple feet.
the,
Couple feet.
the 9 feet and 11 and 3/4 of an inch. You know, just under the neck.
Well, 15, 16s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know.
Are they talking
So
about
I killed
anything?
it.
Like, suppose you had a race car trailer that was a big race car trailer.
No,
Like me, I'm buying a trailer.
nothing over
That's,
30
I'm
feet.
buying a trailer that's like 38 feet. That
Yeah.
would be too big where you live?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
where you
In
supposed
a-
to keep
in a
your where you supposed
residential
to keep
area.
your stuff?
In a commercial area.
I guess just like what New York says, John, is that's not our problem where you keep
Yeah.
your
Right?
stuff. Right.
Yep.
That's
Well,
where
yeah,
you're gonna
I get it. You know, like here, I can't do that where I live.
hmm
You know,
Same.
got that HOA thing.
Right.
Our
But
shop manager's
if,
boat
but if you
wouldn't.
had property, in other words, like if I didn't live in the development I live in, and I just went
Right.
and bought a house that, a half acre, an acre, or whatever, nobody's going to say a word. If I had a 48-foot rig parked there, they wouldn't say anything.
Well,
Yeah,
and
Mom-
again, though, but up here, like in New York, most of us here aren't in HOAs, and we can't. They'll crack down on our ass too if they so
Yeah.
desire.
I get it. Sure.
Yeah, where I used to live, I lived out in the country and they had no code. I could do anything out there.
Yeah.
Yep. So, well,
That's
gonna
it.
do?
Time to move.
Yeah. We
Well,
almost bought a house around the corner from here that's on 7 acres.
I would have bought that house if I knew about it.
Yeah. Well, the guy wanted a lot of money. More
Oh,
than
you got it, John. Don't worry about it.
you got
more
it.
than
Yeah.
I thought the house was worth because
Right.
there was a lot of stuff that I knew was going to be expensive.
That's
to-
the one
gotta
with the
sell a
baseball
couple more
field in the back.
fishes.
yeah, the guy with the baseball field.
Right.
The guy literally built a baseball field in the back for his kids
Right.
with a backstop and a dugout and the whole deal.
Hey,
Right.
So,
Straight up Field of Dreams.
nice.
Yeah.
well, let me tell you, the guy that
Well,
the
you
guy
know-
that bought it is in construction, so he's got a whole bunch of machinery there, including like a big giant. You ever see those cranes that are hydraulic? They got it's like a big giant hydraulic cannon. It goes do 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 do. All these different arms come out of it. He's got one of those cranes there. He had it up the other day with an American flag on it. Had to be must have been 70 feet up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's pretty
whatever.
cool.
It's weird. But yeah, I don't know. It depends. That's one of the things. If you don't live in an HOA here in Florida and you buy a piece of property, there's nothing saying that the guy next door isn't going to sell to somebody that's going to have trucks and none of them run and they got like one tire each and the grass is going to be 10 feet tall in a month.
Or they run
That's-
24/7.
Right. That's one of the things you got to kind of deal with,
Right.
So I'm lucky. I don't have to worry about what goes on in the neighborhood because it's all manicured and pretty. And then I've got the industrial building just down the road.
Right.
Do whatever I
Yeah.
want to do. Nobody says a word. Unreal.
So I wanna put out one of my good friends passed away yesterday.
Oh, sorry
And
to hear that.
yeah, we man,
Oh,
we
I
grew up.
saw that post.
Yeah, I've known him since kindergarten. I mean, we did everything. We built go-karts out of shopping carts. Everything. Learned how to ride bikes together. I mean, just everything. And he went to see the Lord yesterday, and I like to pray for his family and just mention it. Good friend. Just really good guy. We repoed together. We did everything. I mean, we done a lot. Yep. Good guy. 52 years old.
God,
Yeah.
what happened?
He had an infection, a tooth infection, and it caused problems with his heart. So he had a heart surgery, and from then on, it just went bad. He's been sick for probably 3 or 4 years.
Lewis, that's why they say as we age, especially when you get into your 50s, to have your teeth looked at, gum disease can actually cause heart failure.
Yeah.
I don't know all the ifs, ands, or buts about it, but I did read an article a while ago that said it's like when a cancer metastasizes and it goes other places. The same thing with the gums. It ends up, it can trip a heart issue. So,
Yeah.
Gums can do a lot. They told me when I had my knee rebuilt that for the first three or 4 years after the knee surgery, that I need to contact them if I'm going to have any kind of oral surgery.
really,
That you could get an infection in your mouth and it winds up down in wherever they did their work. I know the same thing happened to my mom. She had to have her knee replaced. It got infected.
yeah,
Kinda
same
weird.
thing. It's like that. That's like that. The metastasizing cancer. It goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I've heard about gums are, and it just sucks that we're getting old enough. We are old enough to have to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
But then again, it beats the alternative, I guess. So you pass it along and you try and educate others. That's all. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
An old
Now, if someone could just, if we could teach ourselves, which none of us do.
Nobody taught me.
No, but I'm talking about learning it. Like even though you know it, do you really do it? Nah, all of us don't. I'm guilty.
Absolutely, I know.
I think we have a new guy in the chat, Dennis. I'd like to say hi to Dennis. Welcome to Planning Traffic.
Oh, Dennis came in
From
on a
Cincinnati.
happy conversation, right?
Yeah, really, right?
Yeah.
But it's real.
Oh, he's from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
WKRP.
Yeah, Johnny Fever.
Yeah.
That's
It
you.
goes back,
scratching,
Johnny Fever.
Oh, man.
So I also want to throw out this weekend, the Toronto Motorama is popping off April 29th and to the 1st. I think Canada's still shut down because I was going to try to go up there and send some celebrities up there, but he said everything was shut down still. So
Wow.
Well, that's weird because I have friends from Canada that are coming back and forth.
yeah, they can go back and forth, but we can't go in.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did not know.
They might have opened up now, but when I was doing some booking, I tried to book some celebrities up there, and it wasn't open yet. So he wasn't sure if they were going to open or not. But they are having a car show. This is where John Day, he'll be there. That's his stomping grounds.
That's weird.
Speaking of this coming weekend, it's the Englishtown Swap Meet. It's on.
Carlisle was last weekend.
Yeah.
I missed that swap meet. That was always a good swap meet.
I'll tell you though, in the past
I don't think it's
years,
the same.
yeah, in the past years, it was more of like we were joking, like you can find anything you want, like especially a kitchen sink or a faucet or a dining room chair, because there was a lot more household stuff and
Yeah.
non-automotive. But still, I was always picking up something, always getting something I needed.
Well, you'll be very surprised if you go this year, because the old original Englishtown Tower that was on the pit side,
Yeah.
that they moved all the way down the track to the 8th mile,
Uh-huh.
is now sitting in the middle of the drag strip.
No fooling. Wow.
Yeah. They
What's
pulled
that
it.
all about?
They pulled it from the back and they moved it and they put it like in the middle of the track,
Wow.
facing the big
Right.
bridge tower that
Bridge
they
tower,
built,
right.
because they tore out the concrete guardrails
Mhm.
from the tower to the old tower, and that is figure 8 skid pad now. Because
Ah,
that's what the Suns are into. They were not drag racers.
right.
They were tuners, and they were into what do you call it? That crap where you just burn tires up for no reason whatsoever. Drifters.
Yeah.
So they were the ones
Mhm.
that forced Dad to put the drift track in.
Right, right.
So now they've expanded, and the drift track is also part of the drag strip.
Yeah. Wow.
You know?
Cool.
You could throw $1 trillion at that place. You'll never see another drag car go down that
Yeah.
track again.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, even though I'd like to go, I have so much other stuff I got to do. I got a couple important things this weekend, so I can't. I'm not going to be able to make it.
Your
So
audio is breaking up.
is it?
Yeah,
Stop that, you dopey microphone.
Mhm.
that's weird. It's got
You tell it.
that like echoey kind of electronic sound.
Is everybody else hearing that, or is just John hearing that?
I think it's
I
just
hear you
John.
fine.
Okay.
Oh, it's just me.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's your
A little
HOA
diagnostic
breaking into your internet connection.
What's that, Jim?
It's his HOA breaking into his internet connection.
Could be.
Yep.
They put a wall around his
it's
IP.
Probably Facebook because of the nice things I said about Biden today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, okay, thanks, John.
Guy
You know, I just
aggravates
looked
me.
at Instagram and some girl started following me. Her name is Biden_lover. I'm like, really?
She
I
following
would block her.
Yeah.
I would
And
just
she's
block
got,
her.
no profile. It's a private profile, so it's probably,
So it's a scam.
it's BS anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. Somebody today sent me a friend request for Facebook, and I click on it to check it out, and it's a drag car that I believe a friend of mine may have owned at one time.
Uh-huh.
But so I accepted the friend because I like to look and see what's going on before I even accept.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anything because a lot of people make their stuff all totally private and you
Right.
can't see anything. So I click accept and then I go back to their profile and there's one post, there's one photo, the photo of
Mhm.
this car. He's got 2 friends, me and somebody else. I'm like, block
Yeah.
right away, you know? So it's ridiculous.
So
Nothing to do.
John Day said Bone Shakers there too. Will be there. You know,
Oh,
Ricky
nice.
that's been on.
Nice.
Ricky
Right, right.
Hollywood. So he's coming here in a couple weeks too. I think he'll be
Is he?
here at my racetrack. So we'll go hang out with him.
The season's starting.
Yeah, yeah. What else? Anything else popping? Has anybody seen Bad Chad? You know who Bad Chad is?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
lately.
he's gonna be up there
Yeah.
too. He's a pretty good painter.
He built some wild stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
in a very weird way. You know,
You know, most
pretty-
artists are weird.
pretty
I'm a
down
little
and
strange.
dirty.
Where have I seen his stuff?
He had a
On
TV
Creative.
show.
Instagram,
I know the name. I just can't place it.
YouTube. He's on YouTube
Yeah, he's
a lot.
got a
He
bunch
got
of
lot of
YouTube
on.
stuff. He had a TV show. What was it on Discovery? I think for a
All
while.
right, that's probably where it was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. He didn't get a lot of play. I think he had like what 1 season or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think it was just the one.
Yeah.
So, Papa Squirrel, did you ever find out what was going on with your truck?
No audio.
You're muted.
He muted himself.
Let me see, hold on.
Can't hear you.
Well, now he's
Okay.
muted.
You're muted now.
Your mic's not plugged in.
Use sign language. Justin can read it. He knows it. Justin can read sign language.
That's West Coast stuff there, man.
Yeah.
That's
Justin, we
what's
gotta
covered.
encourage that.
Is that cripple blood?
Mountain
Couldn't tell
Man.
you.
Unreal.
Now let's see if it works.
There you go.
There we
go.
go. We got it, Papa Scroll.
It's
Good
called
thing.
unplug the headphones and plug them back in.
That's
you go.
Yeah.
It's always a good reset.
I'm glad that worked because I'm not very good at sign language.
Well, this sign language is not nice. That sign language is the real peace sign. This
Yeah.
one is English for stuff it.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of like this.
yeah, right.
Exactly. You bet.
Italian.
Yeah.
I like to study sign language in foreign countries.
Okay. So how'd you make out on your truck? Did you find anything, or did it ever happen again?
No,
Wow.
it never happened again. It was one of those gremlins that I hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's good. You're keeping it moving.
yeah, but I'm always gonna be worried about it.
Yeah.
So,
So
no.
I like to ask you the question because I got the same motor. You know, I wanna make a note of everything that could go wrong.
Well, no matter how many notes you make, you'll find something you didn't know.
Yep. I know.
There's got to be some forums that you can.
Yeah,
join
there's
up
a
on.
there's one that I was on and I haven't got back on it again. It's a records form 411 or something like that.
Mhm.
And they had a section on there about 466 turbo diesels and that. And they're just, I haven't really done any real looking, find anything because it's running fine. It's not cutting out.
That's good.
You got a good engine. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing.
Lewis, is yours turbo or blower or what?
Turbo. Yeah.
Turbo? How big are those turbos?
They're pretty big. I don't know what the size is, but it's bigger than it's pretty big.
I wonder if you could take the big.
Oh,
bus
don't be shy,
turbos
Lewis.
and,
You know me, I want to put a monster on it, but then my fuel mileage would go south.
You're liable to blow your engine too.
Yeah.
that's what I'm wondering. Wonder if you could take one of them big giant turbos, put it on a race motor.
Oh yeah. Guys
Sure,
do
you
it.
can do anything. All you need is a welder. You can
Yeah.
weld
Oh,
anything.
yeah, right.
Yep. Guys do it.
To build a sheet metal manifold and
I might go up a little bit on the fuel injections, or fuel injection. What do you call
What
it?
motor is that?
The 466E. DT 466.
Electronic fuel injection.
Mhm.
I'll bet.
I might tweak it a little bit.
Cool it down.
I gotta take it out to my old mechanic. He's gonna put it on the computer and check it out for me, and I might have him turn it up a little bit.
you need to paint it so it looks like grass and trees, so they don't know it's there anymore.
Yeah, right.
Camouflage it.
At least a couple feet of it.
Yeah, I can wrap it.
There you go.
That would be the best. Wrap it in a little forest scene. They
Yeah.
drive by, they don't even know it's there.
Because I do have woods next to me, so that blend right
There you
in.
That's it.
Perfect.
So
Hey,
where
I
are
know
you
what
gonna
you-
keep it?
I talked to some of my buddies across the street, the motorcycle club across the street. They have to vote on it on their next meeting, so I might be able to put it over there. So that'd be ideal because it'd be right across the street from me.
Oh, that's cool.
So I got to see, I got to wait for them. They're going to vote on it
So
Sunday.
it's okay across the street, but it's not okay where you live.
Well, it's a motorcycle club, so it's commercial.
Are you a member of that club?
No.
You may find a Holden Church inside that club. inside that bus when you're not there.
Yeah, hey, it's all right.
Like special meetings, like, all right, out to the bus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta take it for a ride, huh?
Don't ask me
Yeah.
how. No, they can just leave it right where it is. Just have the meetings, special meetings in there, special interviews.
You wonder why you were getting terrible gas mileage, or why there was mileage added on. We had to use the bus one night.
They don't want to use it now. It's empty. Bunch of tools in there.
Perfect. All the
Lot
more
of
put
room.
more stuff in, more
More
room,
room.
stuff.
Room for
Yeah.
activities.
Storage space for spare parts and bike frames.
Motorcycles, yeah.
It's like back in the day, the Dodge Caravans. People steal them just to borrow to move something. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Pop into a caravan and go deliver what you had to go deliver and drop the back off.
I delivered 2 drill presses in my minivan when I had it.
You know,
Wow.
All the seats came out. I had all bucket seats. They all came out. Put them in, lay them down, off to Queens.
Oh yeah, they had that quick release on the seats,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had
Every-
You
one of
could go
those.
from passenger to cargo.
I had one of those Oldsmobile Silhouettes. It was the same as the Pontiac, the Pontiac
I
Transport.
had one of those
the
too.
Dust Buster
Yeah.
nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the seats in the back were individual bucket seats that came out. You could switch positions and all. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
I had one of those too. I hated it. That stinking windshield was longer than the van.
It was
The
just hard to
windshield was
clean.
weird that it had that little triangular thing,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
a little
like
vent
the
window that
Concorde.
wouldn't open.
No. No. It was
Like
good.
you could lay up in the dashboard. The dash was so big you could put a body up there.
I drove that thing to Canada. Man, that was
You're lucky you didn't break that windshield. I
yeah,
bet that was expensive.
yeah, it was big glass.
I
But
got
they
the
always
I got
make
the
one. They
van
always
cheap.
make-
I had to take it. You know what I mean? It was one of those deals that I had to take it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought it on. Wouldn't look for it to buy it.
Yeah. No, I didn't need it. It kind of found me,
Yep.
and I needed something. So there you go.
Nothing's bigger than the windshields on those freaking tour buses.
Oh yeah.
Like those
Oh,
buses
listen.
from Van Hool.
Yeah. Well,
Those things are gigantic.
they're unbelievably big. When I went and
Yeah.
got Tyler's, we went up to New York and brought it back, and that thing is huge. It has to be 7 feet, I bet.
Yeah, right. And tall.
Yeah, that's what I
Really
mean. 7
tall.
feet tall. I bet you're 7 foot tall.
Yeah, my friend's motorhome is huge. The windshield is huge.
Yeah, they're gigantic.
I don't understand why. Why do you need that much glass?
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Gonna see
You
everything.
see that all the time on all of those, on all those big buses. You see
I'll
them
tell
on
you
the-
what, man. Those things drive like a car. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of them are really cool, and the mirrors are attached like at the roof line, and they come out and down.
Yes.
You know,
Look like a bug.
right? Yeah, right, like bug antennas.
I was thinking about putting those on my bus, man, but they're expensive.
Hmm.
Even
I
used,
wouldn't
they're like
doubt it.
$500 a
powered
piece.
too.
Wow.
Yep.
all that stuff is
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
because
All
I
that
like to put those on.
any
but-
mirror.
Yeah.
But just ask the guys across the street. Look, if you guys ever happen to see a set of these laying on the side of the road, think of it.
Yeah.
Fell off the truck.
Help
Because
me
you know,
out.
stuff happens to find its way to Clubhouse. I'm not, just saying.
Not saying, just saying.
I'm not telling you how I know, but I'm just saying I've heard.
That's
I
it.
heard.
There's always a way of finding something that fell off the back of the truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Just got to know the right people.
That's right. You got to have a guy who's
Yeah.
got a guy.
I had a guy when I
You
was
got a
younger.
guy.
I had a guy when I was younger, and I ended up going to jail.
Oh,
Well, that's why
not
you
good.
got to be 3 guys out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Luckily, they knew it wasn't me, so I
Yeah.
got out of it. But man, it could have been bad.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
called a close call.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Won't do that again.
No, a life lesson.
Oh yeah.
If the part's too cheap, find out where it came from.
yeah.
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 I want paperwork because I don't want to. I don't want to talk to any of those authority type figures.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
nothing
I'm
worse
with you.
than them coming and yoking you up and cuffing you and sticking you in the back of the car.
Right.
That was the worst ride I ever had to take. Unbelievable.
Well, I don't fit in the back of the car, so they call a paddy wagon for me.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I got caught going like
one
4
of my buddies,
times the speed limit.
Oops.
Well, with cars like you've had, John,
my
it would
buddies,
be easy to go fast.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. It was the
Yeah,
first time my
yeah.
father ever took my keys away.
Ah.
They had to come bail me out.
Oh, I'm sure he's
That's
happy
bad.
about that.
No, not happy at all. 1 o'clock in the morning, Easter Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Unreal.
Were
You're
you
supposed to be
grounded?
asleep for church.
No, but I was with a couple of friends of mine, and we were just messing around on Larkfield Road.
I was just there today.
Yeah, went flying up Larkfield Road to Jericho, and the cop was hanging out in what was the Modell shopping center.
That's
Lights
exactly where I
off.
was.
And,
That is exactly where I was today.
had the gun. Ba-doo! Grabbed me up, pulled up behind me with no lights on.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the stoplight, getting ready to make a left to go down to Jack in the Box, hang out. And as soon as the light turned green, on came everything. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Pulled me over. 4 other cops came. My buddies ran. They got away. Left me hanging in the wind, and they yanked me out of the car, cuffed me, lay me over the fender, and then they proceed to search my car like they were going to find contraband.
Yeah.
And the only thing they found was a 6-pack of Yoo-Hoo in the can with one missing in the console. And it was a little cooler that had ice in it. And I was drinking Yoo-Hoo.
You were wilding out, boy.
Good call.
Speeding,
boy.
drinking you.
Yeah. But they gave me a reckless driving ticket. Had to go to court. They arrested me. My old man had to come pick me up. What a mess. I had no car for like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the fast Firebird. I had a crappy, it was like an in-between bird. It was a 71 Spree
Yeah.
with a 350 in it. Big and heavy. Ugh.
Yeah, that was a luxury one.
That was the luxury version, yeah. And then I got rid of that, and that's when I got the white 70. And that's a whole nother story. But yeah, they clocked me at like 122 or something like that.
Jesus.
We're gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta do it. When I went on a rally race up in Canada, it was Black Diamond, I think it was. And there was this young kid there. He was in a Ferrari, him and his girlfriend. They were probably 20, 21. And we got to one of the checkpoints, and he wasn't there. We were like, where's, blah, blah, blah. And we left that checkpoint, went to the next one. We ended up in Syracuse, New York. And he comes in. In Canada, if they catch you speeding, they can take your license, lock you up, like 10 years, like crazy stuff.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And he had tickets. I got a picture. I have to find a picture for you. Next week I'll bring it up. But he had tickets. He held his arm up, and they went from top of his head all the way down to the floor. And his dad was somebody big because he got him out of it, and they got the car back and everything. It was crazy.
Wow.
They were going to lock him straight up. But he ended up getting back with us though. He was in a Ferrari, new Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I guess if you're in a Ferrari, you
wouldn't-
can get away with more things.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, they were going to do him, man, but his dad got him out of it, I guess. You should see these tickets. I have to find a picture.
That right there is having a guy.
What's in your wild past, Justin? You're
Not
always
wild.
kind of quiet.
Not
Too
wild enough,
young. He
apparently.
doesn't do anything bad.
Listen, but you do all your craziest shit when you're young.
I know, right?
I kind of, what am I doing now? Nothing.
I know.
Back then, yeah, I got stories, but so Justin's
I got
just so
plenty of
quiet about it.
stories.
And I was always a quiet guy too, and it's always a quiet guy that's got some really good stories. They just don't talk about them.
Nothing too crazy,
Yeah,
actually.
that's it.
Okay.
Isn't
What
the
do you want?
statute of limitations have a certain amount of time before it goes away?
Yeah, on this show it's 30 seconds.
It's about it.
Come on, man. No illegal street racing?
No,
Wow.
Holy cow.
I know I'm terrible.
He knows we're live. You don't want to incriminate.
No, it's good. He's got good light, so we'll tell if he starts turning red. We'll know. It'll be a
Yeah.
tell. Watch his forehead color.
Yeah.
Start sweating
I
and fidgeting.
Yeah.
I got assorted for street racing and stuff.
Yeah.
I got away with a lot, though. I got to admit. I pulled the parachute on Veterans Memorial Highway.
That's a Billy Lynch trick.
Yeah. Let the shoot out. It was funny because it was two friends of mine were racing. If you take Jericho and then you get on 347, it's right where 347 starts.
Yeah.
And you go.
It's a nice straight stretch right there.
Yeah, you go past that Y, and about a mile up, then it's like dead straight.
Yeah.
For a while there, and there I don't know if it's still there. There's a post office on one side, and it was PC Richards on the other side.
I don't think there's a PC Richards
I don't know if
now.
PC Richards is still there, and I don't even know
No.
if the post office is still there anymore.
Right.
And two of my buddies were racing. They took off, and then I followed them with the Firebird. And they finished their deal, and we got to the end. They had just pulled off, and I threw the laundry out right there on 347. And then I had to pull over and roll it up and stick it in the window.
Yeah.
And just as I was closing the passenger side door with the chute in the car, Suffolk County rolled right by.
Nice.
Guy slowed down, gave me a look, and then just kept going. Like, I don't even know what I just saw, and I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So I got away with that one. It was pretty.
Yeah, I'd be curious if they had a statute on the books about parachutes. I got the vehicle book. We
Friend
can
of mine-
look it up.
Johnny Pacino, him and his cousin, they had Monzas way back. Johnny had Brutus. His Monza was like black, blue, and silver.
Yeah.
And John Nobile had
Oh,
Double
yeah.
Trouble.
Okay.
His was like orange and gold and white, and they were identical Monzas, high in the butt,
Yeah.
tucked rear. And they used to run these things at the Hamptons, Englishtown, the whole time, and very often we would tow back from Englishtown and go on the BQE.
Uh-huh.
And I guess you're allowed over there with an open trailer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's like no tunnels bridges you gotta go under.
Yeah.
And I'm behind John, and the parachute, he forgot to put the pin in.
Oh.
The cable shook out, and the parachute opened up in my face.
Wow.
On a Sunday night coming home to E-Town. And
Wow.
he had no clue because now he's in his pickup truck and the Monza is on an open trailer.
He had to feel it though.
I guess he felt it, but he didn't know until I came up next to him and rolled down the window. And I'm like, your parachute's out. And he
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah.
Pull off to the side of the road. He actually really didn't know.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
Talk
We
about a
weren't
gas
going that
mileage.
fast either,
Yeah.
On that part of the BQE,
50,
what are you
50,
going? Maybe
55.
50.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that's-
BQE's never been a particularly good road anyway. So.
No, bouncy. It's horrible.
No.
That's a funny story, though.
Yeah, I thought I might be able to find that picture, but I can't find it.
No.
And we know Brian was doing tunnel runs with open headers in Baltimore.
Yeah,
That's a
I
great
always
story.
wanted to do that.
I made many Midtown tunnel runs with straight pipes with fucking 8, 9, 8, 10 bikes, 8, 10 Harleys,
Yeah.
strokers with straight pipes in the tunnel. Jeez, you don't want to be at the back of that pack.
Right.
And, we had, I'm trying to think of it, in Old Town, Ellicott City. It was a little windy road going through town. And I don't know, a couple years back, it was in the news because that's when it flooded out. I don't know if you remember, it made the national news, but they had, all these houses. I mean, they're all, 250 years old or whatever. I used to roll through there about 3 a.m. open headers.
Nice.
And the echoing of all the houses, because the houses were close and spaced off and they're like stone front or whatever. So you'd be going along and you'd go, because, in between where the houses were open and closed, bouncing off. I used to love going through there.
Gave Hot Rodders a good name, didn't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Spreading goodwill and cheer everywhere.
That's awesome.
I would have.
But I used to, and of course you never do it early. You had to do it late, but it would be like 1:30 in the morning, and you decide to drive up to Baltimore to go through the tunnel, go up there, pay $1, go through through the harbor tunnel.
Yeah, the harbor tunnel.
Yeah, drive all the way through, go up. Had to go about maybe 3/4 of a mile up, do a U-turn, come back through.
Hey, I see that last week they spent like how many millions of dollars they finally to free that barge. That was
That would have
ton of money
Oh, there was a barge stuck over there.
for a long time,
in the bay.
and they had to they dredged. But my thought is like these barge captains know depth. They have modern equipment and sonar. How did he get stuck in the first place?
It was the same company that got stuck in the Suez Canal. Evergreen or Everlast or whatever.
The pilot training program.
Yeah, and they had to empty something like
They took a ton.
500 or
That's what they
700
said. Like 500,
containers.
right.
And the problem was they were in water, so they had to go from boat to boat in water with a crane out in the water. It was a whole production. They had to do it before. They had to get it because at the supermoon on the high tide, that was the highest tide.
Right.
All that
They
stuff.
said they reported a number on how much they spent. It was ridiculous. I don't remember what it was. It's a lot of money.
That's insane.
They must be the Swift trucking company of the sea, because Swift out here has training, and they don't train very well.
Oh yeah, Swift is not a good trucking company.
No, the joke about Swift is that the Swift stands for sure wished I'd finished training.
Oh, I never heard that one
Nice.
before. That's awesome.
Well, I think they're more limited out on the West Coast here, because they'll take anybody and
here all the time.
they train them to drive. They'll take anybody to train them to drive a truck.
Oh really?
Yep.
And some
Long
of
as
these
you got a
people
pulse.
that they've taken, I know, are, let's just put it this way, they weren't not only the brightest bulb in the box, they were in a box of rocks. They were just bad.
Sharp as a marble.
You know what
Oh
always
boy.
amazes me? You see these newscasts during the winter, and there's been a lot of them this winter where it's like 80 car pileup, and there's always somebody that's got a cell phone, and you see a bunch of piled up cars and tractor trailers, and you see more of them coming in, and it looks like they're going 40, 50 miles an hour in the middle of an ice storm, and I'm like, what are these people thinking, these drivers? They're professional drivers. And they're going 40, 50 miles an hour in an ice storm.
Yeah.
And these trucks, they hit with such force.
They figure if they drive faster, they get through it
Right. Plow through.
faster, get by it.
Unbelievable.
We were going from El Paso to Dallas one day, and I can't remember what town we spent the night just out of El Paso, and it snowed. Now, Texans and snow,
Don't mix.
they don't mix.
No.
We got up the next morning and we had to get to Mississippi, and we're driving along the freeway, and there were semis on both sides littering the freeway just all over, and about half of them were Oh, damn it. Oh, well, anyway, there were these commercial trucks that supposed to know what they're doing, delivering stuff.
Mhm.
And then cars too. I mean, you know, we're sitting and I'm doing probably 25 miles an hour. And I feel scared because it feels too slick. I'm getting people flipping me off and honking at me and doing everything else. And then I see them down the road and I wave at them.
Yep.
They
Yep,
go into
stuck
the
in a hole.
road. That's it.
Unreal.
Yep.
Yeah,
It is unreal.
we were in San Antonio 4 years ago? And when we landed, it was so cold that morning it snowed.
Wow.
And we had snow on the ground, and it was like we're of course, we leave the East Coast, and we we got shorts and T-shirts, and we just threw it in a bag, and man, it was snow. Of course, we get down there, and the lady at the reception at the hotel was like, "Oh, this is the first time in 45 years that we had measurable snow or something." And I'm like, "Great, we got to spend the whole week here with all this crap."
You brought it with you.
Yeah.
Thing about Texas is San Antonio and places like that. I spent about 20 years around there. They get these wonderful blue northers in. It's nice, beautiful, short sleeve weather and everything else. 6 hours later, you're freezing.
Yeah, it's
you got
crazy.
ice, snow.
Sounds like a Tuesday up here.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Well, that's the way our weather. I mean, we're in our third night of a frost warning. I mean, it was 3 days ago. It was 82 degrees.
That's
and it was
two.
nice.
Yep.
Oh,
We were in the
man.
80s.
We have another frost warning tonight.
And
We're at
today
like
it was
82 at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. We're in the
It's
90s now.
Crazy here the last 3
So,
days, 4 days.
Wore my big coat to work this morning. Wore a t-shirt home.
Damn.
It's ridiculous.
same here.
Welcome to spring.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's more than spring. It's crazy ass weather for sure. And we lost they applied our gas tax back. We had 30 days no gas tax.
Nice.
So back to what was it, 165 or 154 today, filling the truck up.
Oh, it's terrible.
I see
Well-
our illustrious administration is really pushing to get those gas prices back down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm
700,
almost
almost
weird
700 a month.
The other day, it was 409. 2 days later, it was 419.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened?
Mm-hmm. Here it's
There was
389.
nothing on the news.
Really?
And why would it go from like 430 down to 419, down to 409, back up to 419, all within like 6 days? And I'm
Well,
like,
the big thing
what happened?
the
Did
big thing-
an oil
the-
ship sink or something?
No, the big thing the other day was about Russia not sending the
Gas to Poland and Ukraine.
Poland
I don't
and
care.
something. Well,
Right.
it's a global effect for everybody.
Yeah.
Just like
Doesn't
our
globally affect
leader
me.
said. Terry, there he is. Look at that man.
What up?
Personally, it's an excuse for them to jack prices up.
And don't ever expect it to come down again.
No.
Oh yeah. Well,
No.
We got $5 and something over here on the coast, about $5.20, I think.
Yeah, you guys are always
we're-
crazy high over there for
Yeah,
some reason.
yeah.
California's got some of the highest prices. I just paid $50 to fill up a PT Cruiser, for crying out
Jeez.
loud. That
I
hurt.
paid $100 and the truck wasn't even full.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a truck, not a little compact
Hey,
car.
Tyler,
Still.
on our way home from New Jersey, Tyler spent $800 on a half a tank.
Wow.
yeah, that's crazy.
$800.
It's 200 gallon fuel tank, and he put half in, and it was $800.
And that's an economical way to travel.
Well, the game plan is to travel somewhere and sit
I guess.
for 3-4 weeks. You're not moving a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my plan, at least.
Cheaper than a plane ticket.
Yeah.
I guess.
With
I'm gonna go sit somewhere until they kick me out.
Terry, I gotta say, I've never seen a man more happy about windshield wiper actuation in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, he's like, look, they're going.
Because like I said, that car sat. This is about 96. That so
Wow.
I know that you're putting the power to it and everything like that, but to see the windshield wipers working, I was like, all right. The lights came on. I was like, all right. Technically, I know that it should work, but just to see it work.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, this is all right.
Well, like those wiper motors. If you ever take one of the mechanisms apart, that gear that's in there,
Yeah.
because it's like a worm gear. They're usually packed in grease.
Yes.
Dried up grease.
And that grease gets hard when it ages,
And it sticks, right?
Yeah, so I could see that not being used for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
And it just came right on.
Wow.
Tail lights, everything came on. I was like,
that's
all
so
right.
cool.
So I'm looking at it like this is one less thing I got to buy.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I broke the engine free because it wasn't stuck. I mean, I had to take the belt off, and I had to get like a socket on it, and it moved. I was like,
turns over nice.
Right.
Yeah, it did.
I did turn it and jugga. At first it said, I was like, okay, the buzzer works.
I tell you something. You spray enough carburetor cleaner right down that intake throat, that thing will fire.
Well, here's the thing: the carburetor was in the back seat.
Yeah, I know, but if you just
I don't
port that
know
manifold, it'll fire. You don't
No.
need a
I'm
carburetor to
going
run.
to put it on, but I don't know what he did. What was wrong with this car where he felt he had to take the carburetor off? And I can understand why he didn't put it back on because, okay, maybe it got cold. Maybe he just let it sit. I don't know. But for him to take it off, what was the reasoning? And I didn't talk to him.
It might have been running lean or something or bad.
Yeah, accelerator pump,
Could have been anything. I'm always leery about a motor that hasn't run for a long time, about throwing a socket on the harmonic balancer bolt, with a pry bar and pulling it for fear that the bolt is going to over torque and snap.
Yeah.
I always felt it's easier to get
that question.
The wrench that goes on the flywheel.
Flywheel turner, yeah.
And move it from there.
Yeah.
Nah, I was like, I'm not keeping this engine. I'm like, get a bolt, Put it this way, if it's going to break, it's going to break. So
yeah.
Now,
Just
Pontiac,
gonna
that's a 15, 16 inch
That's a-
socket.
Yeah.
On a
That's like the nuts that I use on the car. To put the
That's
back
big.
tires on.
Yeah.
Big
so
flanged
move. So
15, 16th nut.
we're going to fire it up. If it fires up, we're going to put some brakes
Did
on
you
that
like
thing.
lube the cylinders like through the spark plug holes? Did you spray stuff in, or you just said, "I'm
No,
going to
no,
give it a hit"?
I did put a little
You
marble.
did? Oh.
Yeah, you marveled them up.
A little marble.
Dried it.
And what's it called? The fuel line was disconnected anyways. It was going from the pump, but it was just going nowhere
Yeah.
because the carburetor was
No
off. So I
carburetor, right.
put like a what's it called when I was turning it? I put a regular bag, like a bottle, so it could catch that nasty fuel from 96.
Yeah.
And it was pumping. So I was like, okay, cool. So now we got to
Wow.
rig something
That
up.
means
where I
the
gotta-
diaphragm's in
The
good
fuel
shape
pump
still.
even worked. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pumping. It was
That's
pumping. So I was like, all right.
Ooh-wee.
My
No, when's this-
Cadillac, the last inspection was 96, and same way, mine started up too.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens this
GM.
weekend. Will it start? Who knows?
Now here's the question: if we let a 2000 car sit for 15 years, will it start?
Right.
Probably not.
Good question.
Too much
Yeah.
electronics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Big
it's called bare
difference.
bones. But we're gonna put an LS in there though, so it doesn't matter.
Of course.
Well, you don't want to let a car out here in California sit because everything now has got alcohol in it.
Well, here too.
Everything. I mean, it used to be you could find gasoline without alcohol, but now they got big signs. This pump has da 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 da, and you're like, why are you advertising it? I don't like that shit. You can't find regular You
Yeah.
can't find pure gas around anymore.
Really?
You
Not
can
We
around
got,
around
one,
here.
we got one station here that sells it, and he sells
you-
a shit ton.
You can around here in the South too. I know those guys in the South
Yeah, we have
get ethanol free.
we have ethanol free, and then we have low ethanol. It's not a lot at all.
Okay, that's got to be like 5%.
Yeah, 5%, and then
Right.
then you can get E85,
Right. Well, then you got to
which
be
is funny,
calibrated.
because E85, there's stickers on all of the pumps for E85, contains no less than 50% alcohol.
hmm
And I'm like, so why are you calling it E85 then?
Well, because
And I was kind of wondering, because the guys that come down here that did that sick week drag and drive,
Yeah.
every one of these guys uses E85. They all have these test kits,
right.
and they will literally go to the pump,
Oh yeah,
And-
my buddies do.
pump some gas into a container, and then
Yep.
test it to see what the alcohol level actually is.
Wow.
Because if it's not right, then they got to go in with the computer and they got to reset their whole fuel
Right.
curve.
I have
And I'm
a
like, you know what? I'll just run race gas, and I don't have
Yeah.
to worry.
No, I have a test vial that's graduated, and you put a sample of gas in it, and you let it sit. You got to let it sit long enough for it to settle out, and you can read
Yeah.
on the graduation how much alcohol's in it. So that's probably what
Unreal.
they use. So just nice and simple.
Yeah, I got a couple of friends that got race cars, and they do that too.
And that's how you don't leave gas in your vehicle and don't start it for a long time, because this California gas is great for you.
Got to have Starbright.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what it does is the ethanol evaporates. If you have an older car with an open system,
It also
evaporates.
attracts water.
it absorbs moisture. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Well, it's dry gas. That's what dry gas was. Christie's dry gas.
Yeah.
Remember the white bottle with the red letters?
Oh yeah.
I remember
It's
that.
ethanol.
So if you put California gas in your tank and you let it sit, then you wind up with vintage gasoline,
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
The other thing I don't like too is everything here. All the diesel pumps now are blended diesel.
hmm
Blended?
Yeah, it's got
That's corn stuff.
corn shit in it.
What do you call it?
Diesel, huh?
Biodiesel.
Biodiesel.
Okay.
Wendy's French fry grease. Come on
Yep.
now.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Right.
I almost built a still when I was living out in the country. I was going to build a still and make my own stuff, but I researched it. It was a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I got a couple of buddies that do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Dennis's car, man. 49 Merc. Isn't that the same? Isn't a 49 Merc what Stallone had in that
Yep.
movie?
Yes, it is.
Those things are big.
Was it a
and
49 or a 50?
I don't
It
know.
is
I thought
49.
was a 40.
And actually, I don't know if there's much of a difference between the two, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much of a difference. Maybe a grill, maybe a
Tail lights, I think.
And he had
Right?
that
Yeah.
Cobra
But,
had a custom
it's
grill.
Cobra.
He had
My
a
dad-
custom grill in that car. Anyway. So.
My dad's got a 50, and it's pretty close.
Cobra, yeah. He had what was his name in the movie?
Cobretti.
Cobretti.
Cobretti. But the girlfriend there that he wound up actually marrying her in real life, she was making fun of his first name.
Yeah.
It was a girl's name. What was his name?
It's been a
Trying
long
to
time
think.
since I saw that movie.
Not Carol.
No.
Not Tracy. I forget.
Yeah, it was that.
Yeah,
that
it was the
tall,
girl's name. Yeah.
that tall blonde.
His name was
And then
Tracy,
did he
wasn't it?
marry her in real life for a while?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Nilsson. Bridget Nilsson. Brigitte.
Brigitte
Nielsen,
Nielsen.
yeah.
Brigitte Nielsen.
Nice.
She always had that like super short bleach blonde hair.
Right.
Yeah. What was his name in the movie? I have to open up a tab and
remember.
check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's too far along. Too far back.
Let's see.
Marion. Was it?
Marion.
Marion?
Yeah,
That's
you're
it.
right. Marion. Marion Cobretti. Oh god.
Well, Terry, I found my generator.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, man, I got a heck of a deal. I told my niece's husband that I was looking for a generator, and I was trying to sell one of my thingy things, and he's like, "I need that thingy thing." So he found the generator online, and we went and picked it up. It didn't start, so we got it at a real reasonable price. It's a $1,400 unit.
How many kilowatt hours is the generator, and what caliber was the thingy thing?
The thingy thing was a 1022,
Oh, I got one of those.
and it was all tricked out. You know, I trick everything.
Nice.
So-
You know, there was a place called Feather Industries that revolutionized spolerizing that gun back in the 80s.
That is a popular gun.
They used to take two of them and put them together. Like they put them in, they made it like it was like two lobes of a cam that they made with a crank, and they were side by side. And those lobes, you'd crank it, and it would just fire them alternately. Pretty wild.
Yeah. It was a nice gun.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't need it. I need a room in the box because I'm building something else.
Oh, that's a small one. That doesn't take a lot of room. Come on.
Hey, Ray, that video that you sent me, that clip, the dude with the dragon bike
Yeah, Mel Bernstein.
and the crazy with the guns.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy that's got this like 200-foot long building with like 150 custom cars in it? A lot of 50s stuff.
He does have a lot of 50s stuff. Yeah, he's got his whole kitchen is like a 50s diner with
Because he looked
jukeboxes
real
and-
familiar. And I'm looking at him like, I think that's the same guy. There was another video I saw of this guy, and he's this big, long building,
Yeah.
and it must have like 30 or 40 garage doors. And
Wow.
inside, it's completely packed with cars and memorabilia, and he's got like a 50s diner scene and a lot of red and black and white
Right.
checkerboard stuff
Right.
and neon and Wurlitzer, you know.
The inside of his house is like
All
that,
that
and I
stuff.
wouldn't be surprised. I haven't been keeping up with him recently, but he's from here. Yeah, he was from Valley Stream. That was Mel, like I said, Mel Bernstein. He's in Colorado, and he has a full machine shop that he does all his gunsmithing. I mean, he makes stuff from
Right.
scratch.
He was originally a motorcycle guy, Harley. He did
Still
the
is.
yeah, he still does it. I mean, he sells those kits to whatever changed
Trike.
To make those guns totally illegal.
He built back in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, he built the first Dragon bike. I got a picture of him on that bike in Valley Stream State Park, but it was an even bigger Dragon head. It was, and then he opened up a shop on Route 110, and I used to ride that thing around, go to Nathan's with it and all. And it
I
was
he's got a
remember
big
seeing that bike.
he's got a big military
yes, big military collection.
huge military museum
Yes,
that he's got.
yes.
And I follow him, and he had something where, I mean, he's down to like he was so excited because he had just found or bought like a surplus locker from like 1941 from the Second World War, and it had like the original M&M candies in it, and all date
wow.
coded right and everything. I mean, you know, and he's like.
You know, I should talk to him because I just brought home a case of military issue gun oil, and the bottles of 4 ounces in olive green, and they're all dated 1970.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
he has like he was showing like he has different war scenes or different eras. You know, he's got them all from World War One and all the way up, and he showed like I can't remember if it was the Korean. I mean, I don't know if it was for the Korean War, but he had like penicillin. I think it was penicillin military supply, and it was still like original, unopened, you know. And he was like, he goes, "Mine are everything I have is the most accurate," because he deciphers all the date codes out, and he knows where and when it went and
Yeah,
everything. It's crazy.
He's quite the historian. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Hey, I see Bad Tree Productions is hanging out. You should bring him in. That guy's
Uh-huh.
great.
Yeah, they've
Bad
been
Tree, you
flashing
want
on
in?
360.
I'll send you a link.
Bad Tree Productions.
Yeah. He made a. We were talking about the 49s, and he said something about not all of them.
Ray, do you have his info?
Is
No.
he still here or not?
I know you
Put
guys
up-
let him in when I got off one
Put
night,
up a
right?
comment if you're still here.
That's how we got him in last time.
Yeah.
Just shouted him out. Johnny spotted him, and we wrangled him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got
Did
him
the old
in.
double team.
He might have left.
Yeah.
So Terry, we got to get your boy back on. What's his name?
Uh-oh,
We
he's
went to
having
his
a
house?
Biden moment.
Yeah, right.
Boy, nothing like what they've been showing on TV lately. It's scary.
Don't get me
We went to his
started.
house, Terry.
No.
Oh, Derek?
Yeah.
Bo
Derek
Derek?
Perry. Okay.
Oh, you know Bo Derek?
All right.
No,
Yeah.
Gonna get good.
Derek,
You the man.
man, he got some nice stuff, man. Nice. He's doing some
Yeah, we had
nice
a good
work.
Time. We had a good time out there.
Yeah, he's doing some nice work.
Yeah, he's did you I don't know if you saw it, but he blew the drive shaft out of that truck that we built.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah. We built a crew cab, put an Ellis in his I think it was an 81 crew cab, Chevy crew cab. And he took it for a ride and he drive shaft kicked right out.
Oh God.
You know.
Yeah, that happened.
It happens.
Well, you guys, I gotta jump off. I gotta get myself together here.
How's that
Um,
Firebird, Terry?
Say again?
This sounds good.
How's that cool green Firebird? What's it doing these days?
Oh, that one from 612?
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Here, let me jump off real quick before you guys get into it.
All
Yeah,
right.
See you later.
See you guys
Take
next
care.
week.
Later, Lewis.
Take care.
Yeah.
Louis. That car was never really. I mean, even though we're tuning it, but we're tuning it to what we can do. All right. So the first tune was Lou just wanted to be able to just get that car in and out of the garage.
Right.
You know. So so I tuned it for that. So just to don't drive the car. It's just to go in and out of the garage. This is not a tune.
Just tune it
You know,
lean so we can fire
Just
up
tune
and
it so
go.
you can just pull it around instead of pushing the thing.
Right.
So we now remember this car has the whole front clip from a 2016 Camaro, which is an LT1.
Yeah.
So it's an LT1 rack and pinion, gas tank, everything, that would come in an LT1 Camaro. Then they go and put a supercharger on it, a Maggie.
Yeah.
So it's not. So basically, we were just, I just tuned it just to pull it in and out of garage. Then it went into limp mode, so we had to tune that out, fix that. And at that time, we couldn't really get in it because now it's crunch time, and these guys are climbing all over the car. And plus, it was also, this is a couple months back, it was also winter, so we couldn't really get a nice tune on this thing because these guys are climbing on, fixing it, trying to get the interior in and everything like that. So they took out the SEMA, right? And I told them, remember, this car isn't tuned. It's just tuned enough to go in and out of the garage.
Yeah.
We got it out of limp mode because then we have issues with the rack. So it would throw in a code, going into limp mode because of the rack and pinion. So we had to get a new rack.
Why would the rack be throwing a code?
It's all tied in. LT1s, they're all LT engines are all,
you
everything is
kidding me?
tied in. Everything is tied in. It's not like an LS. An LS would have been easy, way easier.
That's
But
crazy.
these LT1s, and then you got to go and get the rack, and then you also got to go and put the VIN number into the rack.
You gotta initialize it.
Why would the motor and the computer want to know the rack?
Same
Steering
my
angle.
ZL1.
Yeah.
My
Big
ZL1,
brother is
the
watching.
radio. I have to get the VIN number for the radio so they can put the
Right.
VIN number in for the radio
Right.
when the radio busts.
See, to me, that's way too much control.
They've been doing it
Right.
for years, John.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
See, I don't mess with that stuff. Like my truck, it's got all that new technology. I just get in, hit the start button, and do what I got to do.
Right.
I don't
It's
mess
not an
with
issue
that
until
truck.
you have to do something.
But
on
wait
the
till you
back
have to
end.
replace something, and you got to
Well,
make sure
yeah.
you got to get
Other
it
than
all
the battery, I
initialized
haven't
or
had to do anything.
reflashed, relearned.
Really?
This won't work with that.
Yeah.
Especially when
Guys
you
do
put-
it all the time with Audi transmissions because there's only like 5 different Audi transmissions, but they all look the same, and there's a little green tag on the side, and it'll tell what transmission, if it's a 15 or 18 or whatever. But they go, oh, they're all the same, and they throw it in. And of course, it doesn't work because the valve bodies are all different, or the computing, the computer part of it's wrong. They don't read or interlink with all that stuff. So
Oh my!
it's a real
God.
mess.
Oh, thank God I'm in the side of the hobby that's old school.
Right.
So this
And
car.
any new technology, aftermarket new technology.
So
it's
now
standalone.
this car is like going to SEMA and it's not tuned. But then what do these guys do? They want to get pictures of this car out in, I think, the Red Rocks or something like that. The Rock
Yeah, Red
Canyon.
Rocks is awesome.
Yeah, so they wanted to get 2 pictures of the car like that. And I told them, do not put the car in boost. The car is really not tuned. It's just tuned to get in.
Yeah.
But
I'm
they're
assuming they
taking the car-
trailered it there because
Yeah,
Red
they're
Rocks
taking
is
the
not.
car,
right there.
driving it all around and everything like that, and
Yeah,
car cuts off. So they had to push it a couple of times.
yeah.
So, I told them, I said, the car is not tuned. What people don't understand is if you hear someone says, I can tune your car, let's just say a basic LS in a Chevelle, I can tune your car in an hour. Look for another tuner. Look for another tuner. Because to tune a car, even let's just take an LS with a Chevelle. You can tune it to the point where it works, but you got to drive that car, work all the bugs out. And some people don't understand. You got to work these bugs out. Now with that Trans Am, you had more than your average bug. You had the rack bug. You had the steering module, the fuel module bug. You had everything. You had all types of possible things because even the dashboard. The dashboard is from a 2016 Camaro. So when you open the door, you're in a 2016 Camaro in a 1973 Trans Am.
Yeah.
So they grafted the dashboard in. So all that stuff that's on the dashboard, you had to make work and you had to tune it and tune certain things out that you're not using. So they didn't understand. Some of them didn't understand why. Okay, the reason it's not working properly is because you didn't have time to tune it. This is something where you drop the car off and the tuner calls you in about a week or two because he's gonna have to drive it and all that. But the driving was the person, driving it, the test driving it, and this is whatever. Now a tuner, so basically they're seeing what a tuner really goes through.
Yeah.
They're seeing what a tuner really goes through, and so right now we're having some type of issue with the fuel system, and I personally think they should have just went with like an Arrow motive, or either some type of Holley fuel setup. Get rid of that module, shut that off in the tune, that fuel module, because it's like a little fuel module. Get rid of all that crap.
Yeah.
Put that thing at like 65 psi, and move on. But so yeah, it's back in the shop, and what's it called? Like we're trying to work all the bugs out, but like I said, every time we want to get together and work the bugs out, these guys are driving it, and
Yeah.
all the stuff that the average
person don't
SEMA
know.
visitor doesn't know
Yeah.
about.
My
Yeah,
wife
most people
agrees
don't
with
get
you, John. Old stuff.
Yeah.
The
Justin,
fewer
you had your finger
computers
up
you
a
can
couple
get better.
times.
Well, no,
Right. I mean, if I got to mess with computers, I'm talking about aftermarket stuff. It's standalone. MSD. You know what you got.
Yeah, but like I
Holley,
said, if you
know what you
if
got.
you were just throwing a regular LS or LT in there, LT is a little bit more difficult, but it can be done. that would be no problem. But like I said, you're trying to graft the dashboard, the rack and pinion, all these things in the gas tank. So now in that dashboard, you got all the sensors and so you got to put all of those in. And
Why can't all of that stuff be completely omitted?
because they wanted the dashboard to work like it did in the 2016 Camaro. So basically, the 2016 Camaro, we got the car that was all smacked up for whatever reason it was. They took the firewall, like from the dash down,
Right.
and put that in, welded it in
Into that 73
the
body.
Trans Am,
Right.
73 Trans Am. So they wanted everything to work. Dashboard. Because dashboard is very intricate. It got a lot of
But all
sensors
that
and
stuff runs off of what is it?
a CAN bus.
It's a CAN bus, and they're all
That's what I'm saying.
communicating
So-
and talking. And
So
you
why
can't-
can't you start out with like a Holley fuel injection system? The Holley Terminator.
But they wanted the factory dash to work. They wanted the
yeah,
gauges,
John,
and they wanted
that
all
would
that
work the
stuff.
fuel system, but it wouldn't work the instrumentation and everything.
Well, no, because the guy that tuned the Camaro that was here, that's what he works with that Holley stuff. And it's a larger black box that
No,
does
it's the
a
Sniper, either
bazillion
Terminator.
things. Terminator, and it's CAN bus. And then if you've got a speedo, a tachometer, a oil pressure gauge, all of that stuff's CAN bus. It all plugs in.
You know,
Yeah, but
CAN bus
you're talking about like a standalone harness for the Holley standalone. So now we got to somehow graft. You got to graft the Holley, which is easy. I think it's 5 wires to graft into, like, let's say a Chevelle regular harness, like the body harness and all
Like
that.
we had to do with the 67, and
Right,
and it was-
exactly. But like I
a
said,
couple things
these-
threw me for a loop, but it was once I kind of understood where I was going, it was straight up.
what you got going on though is CAN bus is not universally CAN bus. What it stands for is that's controller area network is what that is. It's just a way of controlling through a network. But then there's different like dialects or how could we say it, like
I get it.
you know, and GM's CAN bus protocol is different than Holley's CAN bus protocol. They can do things a different way with different
Right.
wiring. That's why when you're with the system, you want to stick with the system all the way.
So then,
And
if
that's
you're
what these
using like all aftermarket stuff, like you're gonna use a Holley system, and you're gonna put odometer gauges,
That would work.
Yeah, what's that company that makes that really super nice like LEDs?
Dakota Digital.
Dakota
Right.
Digital. So in other words, that probably all works off the same type of universal.
you
Right.
you
You
wouldn't
know.
have a problem with that. That would be almost like a
I
plug and
get it.
play. But this is
Right.
like they went from the GM dealership, so they're trying to
Yeah.
break into that and make that dashboard work along. So basically, they're going to have a 2016 Camaro dash in like I said, a 73 Trans Am, and the car looks good. The car looks great.
Oh,
car looks
it's
awesome.
phenomenal.
You know,
It's phenomenal.
yeah.
I love that car, man. I
making it
couldn't
work is
wait to
tough.
see that thing. I'm like, my wife walked
Yeah.
up to that car. She goes, "I never seen paint like that."
Yeah,
That-
the
that
daughter
car
did
was
the airbrushing. And
amazing.
she did the hood. She
Yeah.
airbrushed every Trans Am logo on that thing. She's nasty.
That car
Beautiful
was
looking
amazing
car.
to look inside and see that late model dashboard in an old car, and I'm like, "Ooh, so cool."
They did their thing on that. The father's a genius. I mean, like, to make that all work. I mean, it works. I mean, like, I'm still tuning this car. Me and Ed Gomez, we're still tuning this car, and we got it to work really, really well. But then there's always something that comes up. There's always something that comes up.
Building cars.
Yeah, so you got to work the bugs out.
Even with the old stuff, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Terry. That, like, even with the old builds we're doing, I mean, you still got to shake stuff down.
No,
You
it's-
gotta-
yeah,
Things happen.
Always.
And a lot of people don't get it.
yeah.
Right.
Why can't I have my car? Well, you can take your car right now if you want.
Yep. And then you
Right.
bring it back when
See you guys next week.
Okay, Jim, take it easy.
All righty.
Take care. But I feel bad for the owner of the car. He's a really nice guy. He's itching to drive that car,
I bet.
and I don't blame him.
He's actually going to drive it, or is he just going to show it?
No, he's going to drive that
It's too
car.
nice to drive.
No, he's going to take it to Florida, and he's going to
Oh,
drive.
he needs to
but I
come
gotta
see
admit
me.
Huh? Yeah, he's down
When
in
he comes
Florida.
to
He's
Florida, he
moving
needs to come see me.
No, I'll tell him. He'd love that.
Yeah. Where in Florida is he?
I forget the town. But he's building a house down there, and he's just
Find out, man. Tell him. You gotta go see John.
Yeah, gotta go see John. John who? I said his name is John. Just call him John. Yeah,
Just start asking around.
They'll be like, oh, he's up there. Nah, but the car is nice. It's a little rough a ride for me. It's a rough ride.
It's made to
Oh,
get
that's right.
around.
You're so
turns.
delicate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm delicate to a point, but it's a firm
The
ride.
suspension's just way
Well,
too
if
hard.
you put a little more weight on, you won't have to worry about that, Terry.
Yeah, there you go.
Nah, well,
You worry about
still,
those damn intakes. I don't understand. What
Gotta
was the
just
measuring
change
of the
spring
intake?
rate?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got to raise it up a little bit, and if you're gonna drive in the street, you can only have your car so low if you're gonna drive your car in the street.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is true. Anything
But-
lower than 5 inches up front, and you're just looking for trouble.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah, that's-
anything else. If something was to happen to their car, they're gonna have to go back to this company. Same with the chargers that they build. If something happens to those chargers, you get they carbon fiber, so. But if you should happen to scratch it or whatever, such and such, you might be able to do a paint job. Yeah, but those chargers, man, those are one-offs.
They had one of those at Detroit too. That was beautiful.
Yeah, they do their thing over there.
That's cool.
Yeah. Me, straight up LS. No point in going to the LT. LT's a little bit more difficult.
You're the LS king.
Straight up, that's it.
What's
500
the difference
horsepower
between an
LS,
LS
500
and an
horsepower.
LD? What's the difference between them?
One's direct
Like-
injection. That's all.
Oh, the LT's
That's-
direct injection.
Yeah,
Oh,
As far as parts, it's pretty much everything, isn't it?
yeah.
really,
But I tell you, 500 horsepower at a LS, 500 horsepower at a LT, you're not going to notice the difference. You're not going to notice the difference. And there's more LS's, parts that are plentiful, and that whole LT is just a difficult. It's a little bit more difficult to tune.
wasn't that a Corvette motor?
Yeah. Well, the Corvette and Camaro, the ZL.
Camaro's had an LT.
Well, after 2016, they all went to L. They got they went to LT. The performance package was the LT.
The LT ones were the ones with the OptiSpark, right?
No, that's my
Yeah.
version. The earlier ones, that's the ones I have.
The LT, like the mid 90s, early 90s,
Right.
the after tune port LT.
Right. It's
The
a
one with the distributor behind the alternator. I mean,
That's-
behind the
that's
water
the one
pump.
I have. Yeah, it's
Water
a
pump.
throttle body, a port injection throttle body with the OptiPuke ignition,
It's a pretty looking engine.
reverse flow.
Mm.
They
Same
do
with
it
the
so
tune
that they
port. Tune port's a
cool the
pretty
heads
engine.
first.
They run the serpentine belt backwards. Is that the one that runs backwards?
No, it's just
No, the pump is just made to run.
it's the reverse. They reverse cooled it, where meaning it cools the heads first instead of the block. They did that for the Corvette, and they just kept it on all the LT ones, even the ones like mine with the cast iron heads. It does run cool, I'll tell you that.
Well,
Try to figure out what to do with this
what
line.
day was that? Monday. I guess I was Tokyo drifting too much in the tool truck, and I blew the inlet charge pipe off.
Oh,
And
great!
man, that thing's a real dog. That's a real dog when you don't have the turbo working in the old tool truck. And it had a hell of a whistle. So pulled over. Thank God I'm in a tool truck, and the clamp came apart, so the boot was blowing up on it. So I nursed it down to I was going to the Ford dealership, and I walked in, and everybody was like, "Hey, I said, hold on, we got to fix the tool truck. Before I do anything, we're fixing the tool truck first." So, and I don't know, I said something a couple weeks ago, but I've never seen, especially in my dealerships, how much or how many motors that they do now. the long blocks and short blocks are just insane, you know.
Really?
And so one of the guys said, "What's that in your hand?" I said, "I need to find a clamp, you know, this size. It's for my charge hose, you know." And he's like, "I'll go dig through that pile over there." And there was just a pile of after parts, you know, from all the motors that they've been doing, you know. And I found a
Oh my
really
God.
nice rubber turbo hose and some clamps and everything. Went out and got the tool truck back. So I'm back Tokyo drift style with the old tool truck now. Got that boost cranked up. So,
There you go.
but I couldn't believe I blew that clamp all apart. I don't know.
That's
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Never a dull
worm
moment
gear
in that.
kind of clamp?
Huh?
Just like
Yeah,
a
it
regular
had
worm gear
a-
kind of thing?
It had a worm clamp and it had like a spring on them that's supposed to help keep them from loosening up or whatever. And but the Ford ones were really nice. So I grabbed a couple of them and went down and sitting down there.
So those nice
changing the
phone
fucking
hoses.
hose. Yeah. Tell
They
you,
can
man.
handle the temperatures and stuff.
Never a dull moment. But I tell you, when that thing popped, I heard it popped, and I was like, damn, that thing was a real dog with no turbo on it. So that was my fun-filled excitement for a Monday. Monday.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment.
Almost.
Kind of sucks.
So I'm just glad they didn't catch me with that snap-on screwdriver in my hand fixing it.
Yeah, that'll be all over the internet.
Yep.
You'll be viral.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Why weren't you using a Mac one?
Huh? Because I'm a Matco truck. That's the reason why.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Well, you're not going to know the answer anyway. I noticed watching the NHRA drag race
Uh-huh.
that Cornwell spends money in advertising. They
Oh,
got
yeah.
commercials. We got a truck with your name on it.
Yep. They're
And you guys have been sponsoring drag cars forever. And you think they'd spend a little bit of money to capture those that are watching NHRA drag racing. You got the perfect spokesman.
Yep.
You know, right there, running Top Fuel. And they don't, nobody thinks in advertising over there. Oh, yeah, you know.
Nope.
Let's let Antron do some ads for us on NHRA's deal. It's a captive audience.
Nope.
How many guys are watching those drag races on TV, you know, on Fox and their mechanics during the week?
that's our marketing.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
could be
don't get
selling
Brian
tools. They could be
I
selling
don't have-
tools. They could be selling, you know, routes. Get a
I
truck.
don't
I keep getting ads on my Facebook for getting a Matco route.
we have somebody that knows what they're doing on that.
Yeah, I guess you guys just make enough money as it is. You don't need advertising.
It's kind of crazy.
Weird.
I think he's trying to avoid the subject for the reason that he's got a lot of things to say about it, but they're not. He doesn't want it recorded for evidence.
Right.
He's being politically correct.
The
Yeah,
kind of things
well,
that'll get you in trouble.
Sort of like I
just,
was in the Air Force. Keep your mouth shut.
I've me and Ray's talked about it a few times, and
Yeah.
some really some things just don't make sense, Johnny.
Yeah.
There's answers in the world that we'll never have the questions for.
Right?
Well, and it all comes down to,
Don't
you know,
get it.
who's in charge, who's the boss, and what they say goes. And
Right.
if they think they're right, you know, that's what's
Exactly.
going to happen.
Yeah, we'll probably end up. We've had that NHRA tied up for so many years,
Yeah.
and now actually since Antron has moved from Schumacher to his own team.
And you guys stuck with them.
Right. Well, and of course now that so much more money's going to that, I'm pretty sure we'll probably end up losing the amount of coverage that we had with the NHRA with that, because we used to sponsor. We had 3 or 4 races. We had a couple of different cars.
Okay, yeah.
You know, we did a lot of stuff.
You were a main sponsor on the car, but Schumacher was tied up with a bunch of other stuff, so
yeah,
they had money to have their own national event.
And you know, like I said, when we went in, and this was like right before I started. Were trying to get into NASCAR, and we had Rusty Wallace and Joe Nemechek and one other guy, and basically for the little bit that we were on the car, those 3 cars, they went over to the NHRA and we were on everybody's car. Right. I mean, that's the money difference that it was, you know. And of course, as we've grown, and like I said, Antron's a great guy, and he's a great spokes, and he's awesome. And they do film. There are stuff about it, or he does do stuff at the racetrack and film. I don't care for the way they put it out. Because, like you said, it's very select, and sometimes it's kind of, you know, there's a handful of stuff that I think we should just plaster all over the place. But, you know, that's the way they want to do it. And I'm pretty sure that with Antron going into his own car, and with us behind him, I'm pretty sure, however the money falls, we'll probably end up losing a lot of that NHR. That's why Cornwell's, you know, will step in and what they advertise.
Because they do commercials every episode.
Yeah. You know, that's, you know, like I said, back in the day when we were on Power, what was that, Power Block?
Power Nation.
Power Block, Power Nation. So, and you know, that was great, and we had that for many years, and we still do. Of course, that whole format changed now because you know, now it's, you know, again, it's what's the root of all evil? Greed. Yeah. And somebody starts getting greedy, and somebody wants to, you know, want more and pay less, and people get sick and tired. You know, like after listening to what was that guy's name? Dan Short, right? From
Phantom Works,
and a few times talking to Lou and hearing those guys talk about how those. Man, I barely even watch Motor Trend or all that stuff. I'm not going to give them any of my time or money. They're treating people like that. It's amazing, and they wonder why. Of course, there's always somebody else to fill the seat. So.
YouTube. That's why these YouTube guys, these influencers.
Very true.
Yep.
It seems like a lot of them too are just right up to YouTube.
Everybody's on YouTube now.
Yep. Even the guys, a lot of those guys that were on Power Block now have YouTube. Kevin Tetz, YouTube. What's called Ian Johnson, YouTube. Richard Rollins, YouTube. Dennis Collins, YouTube.
You know, I started watching Dennis's stuff.
It's pretty cool.
When he got that Copo for his daughter.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But why pay the middleman? I mean, these guys can go on YouTube and they can get 1 million subscribers like that.
Right.
Well, you got what's his name? The guy in Pennsylvania from Hot Rod Garage.
Tony.
He went out on his own. He left. He's like, I'm out. See you. Bye.
Tony D'Angelo. Yeah.
Tony D'Angelo, and now he's got his own YouTube deal. You know.
All the
it's
money's
crude.
yours.
He's learning. You know, he's over there holding the camera, shaking. He's like doing it himself.
No, all the money is yours. You get 1 million subscribers. That if you get like 200,000 subscribers, that's changing things. That's serious. Anything above that, 200,000-300,000 subscribers, that's changing. You
I
know,
think I have
why would anyone want to have a Motor Trend TV show? No, but why would anyone want to have a Motor Trend TV show, right? And I don't know how much you make per episode, but it's not like a lot. I mean, it's nice, but I mean, when you could just bank all that money that you're getting off of YouTube, it's all yours.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got 5
Yeah.
on
You got
YouTube.
5?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like I said, you know, and then of course,
nobody
like
likes
you know what
me.
happened to Dan, you know, you think you're going to cash in or at least get paid for the replays, and then
Right.
they beat you up, get you out of it, and then that's all you see. That's, you know, because once they know they're not paying you, they milk the crap out of it, and you see, you know, it's on 27 times, 13 hours a week, and
Oh, they replay this every day.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I talked to Dan at SEMA one year, and I found out why his manager says Dan to talk the ears off a wooden Indian. He got to going about people that had these different car shows and that, how they were losing money on them because they're trying to do their work, and the producer of the show is saying, well, film it this way, film it that way,
Yeah.
throw a wrench across the street type of thing. He
Oh
said,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, he said, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Not to mention, hey, we didn't get that shot. Could you do it all over again?
Right.
Could you do it? You know.
Yeah.
So,
I watched one of his mechanics look like he was going to take a wrench to one of the cameramen because he'd done something. He'd smashed his hand badly, and there's blood all over it. And the guy's trying to get a close-up shot, and the guy's like, "Yeah, you better grab the cameraman because he's going to get assaulted in a moment."
Well,
you know,
you know,
the other thing
funny
he
because I was
said-
talking to Stacey David, and he said that's the reason why he left after the second season. I think he only two seasons on Trucks, and he went on to his own because he said, you know, like he's seeing that they're starting to air his old shows, and he don't get a dime for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He don't get a dime for the old show. So now he's in total control. I mean, like he owns Rattletrap, and he's everything that Rattletrap makes goes to him, and that's the way to do it. So that's 2 ways you can do it. You can build like make your own show and sell it to Motor Trend or to Mav or whatever, or you can just do a YouTube channel.
That's why somebody was saying, how come, I don't know if it was Sam's show or somebody was saying, well, why is he on so early or whatever?
Oh, that was me. Yeah, that was for
And you know, when they own
6:30 in the morning or something.
yeah, when they're in total control of all that and they sell, Motor Trend or whoever's going to put them where they want. They're not, you know, they're not making any money on it. So
Yeah, well, you know what the weird part is? I follow him on Facebook, and he posts what episodes that are coming up. He gives you like a little teaser and the whole 9 yards. And he said that there was the new season was going to start, and it was going to be on Motor Trend. And he's like, it's going to be early, so set your DVR. It's like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and I recorded it. Now I keep getting updates that he's like, yeah, we're going back to work on the Firebird, and that episode's going to be on Motor Trend on such and such a day. And I take a look, and it's not.
Yeah.
I go to my DVR to see what's being recorded, shows recorded that are coming up, and it's not in there. And then I go into the guide, and I look on Motor Trend, and Stacy's show ain't on there. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? He says it's on Motor Trend. It ain't on Motor Trend. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
So
Now they're not going to give you. They're not going to
I
give
don't
the
understand
artist.
what's going on with that.
They're not going to give like someone like, let's say, Sam Madavi. He builds the show and he sells it to Motor Trend. So they're going to give him. They're not going to give the best spot like they would give, let's say, Faster or Finnegan, because they got more skin in the game with Finnegan because Finnegan doesn't do the show and sell it to them. No, he's
Motor
on the
Trend.
show. Yeah, Motor Trend sells what's it called? Shoots the show and does all the stuff. Does everything.
Yeah,
They're gonna
working for them.
They're gonna put him on the forefront. Whereas someone like I said, Sam Madavi shoots the show and he sells it to Motor Trend.
Yeah.
They'll make some money, but they're not gonna make nearly as much money as if they got their own camera crew filming.
I think the one guy that had the best was that Mopar guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he owns
Grave
all of that
digger,
stuff,
grave-
and he's
Mark
on at a
Warman.
good time.
Yeah,
yeah,
he seems to. I think he plays a little better with them, or
Well, no, he owns his production company.
yeah,
so
I know
he
that,
owns
but he
every
seems to
Saturday.
have a better time slot than. I mean,
Well, but then again, they just moved him to Wednesday night at 10 o'clock.
oh really?
Oh, really?
So he'd always been a Friday night show, and I think he was Saturday for a little while. And this season,
Wednesday's better though because Friday night everybody's doing something.
you know, it's all a matter. Like I missed the first episode because I was looking for it on the wrong night, and then I caught it on demand, and then I looked it up and I saw, oh shit, they put them on Wednesday night. Okay,
Yeah.
so
See, I set my DVR up if I find a show that I want to watch. When I go into the stuff about the recording, I click first run only anytime. So
Yeah.
if they move somebody, it still gets it.
yeah, that's good.
That's the best way not to lose your show because
Right.
they'll move people around and you won't know it and they'll come back. We use our DVR because when I can't call it vacation, when we go on sales events and we're going to be gone for 2 months at Ren fairs and that, I'm going to miss all my shows.
Yeah.
So I put it on record, and when they move it somewhere else, I want it to pick it up so I can watch it.
And then
You
I
said
still
Ren
have-
shows?
Ren fairs, we sell at Renaissance fairs.
Oh really? You ever been to one in Maryland?
Oh God, no, I'm not going to anything like that. It's too big and too crowded and too
We have
far
no
Oh,
away.
well, I was going
Renaissance
to come
fair
see
here in
you, but
Tampa.
okay, fine, Papa Squirrel, be that way.
You got to come to the one in Tampa. It's awesome.
It's gotten to where now that we have cut ourselves so far back because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old. I got pretty damn good arthritis. I can't crawl under my vehicles like I used to. I'm having to pay a mechanic to do things for me that I used to do. So I'm not going. We're not doing more than 3 Ren fairs a year now.
Well, to me,
Wow.
you'd have to come diagonally completely across the country.
Yes, you would. I would.
That's a ride.
Yeah,
That's a long way. This is a
Yeah.
big country. If you've never been across this country in both directions, you don't know how big it is.
They have a big Renaissance fair here. It goes on for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, ours is forever.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Right across the street from USF University there.
What do you
Big,
sell, Papa
huge
Squirrel?
piece of property.
My wife puts jewelry together and things
You got
like
magic
that.
beads?
Who? What?
You got magic beads or what? What are you selling?
We don't sell magic beads.
Oh, come on now.
yeah.
I don't do anything that requires me to be an asshole.
Got dream chasers,
Dream catchers, whatever. Yeah.
catchers.
Come
gotta have them.
on, Papa Squirrel.
No, don't do dream catchers. Not Native American.
I like those. Those are cool.
I think they are too. We have a couple of them here. Matter of fact, my daughter bought one. We broke down in New Mexico because well, it wasn't we broke down. The air conditioner compressor went out that we just had replaced. And I'm sorry, in July, you're going to drive into Mississippi
Woo!
with no air conditioning?
Wanted to. We're the ones that said no. You wanted to roll down the windows.
Whatever. Anyway, my daughter's going, you wanted to. No. So anyway, we got it replaced there. We were wandering around because they sent a rebuilt air conditioner compressor. The mechanic put it on the car, started it up, turned it on, and it was frozen. It froze.
Oh, God.
Great.
Belt started burning. I know how a Baptist preacher cusses. Stands there, bows his head over the engine, and is silent for about 5 minutes,
Oh, boy.
but not one single word. That's how a Baptist preacher cusses.
Oh,
But
man.
anyway, we'd gone around the thing, and there was a little store that was selling Indian-made artifacts. And my daughter found out that one of the dream catchers was made by a young couple who had just had a kid, and they didn't have any money, and they were trying to make something they could sell. So she bought it because it had the plastic beads, and it was very, very crude. But she bought it.
Turquoise, and I still have it.
because she liked it.
Yeah.
That's all that
She said,
matters.
"Don't buy the fancy one. Buy it from the person who needs the money worse," and that's what she did. So, her dream catcher has a special place for her. But yeah, we sell jewelry. We now have a computer controlled laser engraver, and we make snarky signs.
Oh
Not,
yeah.
not nice signs, but snarky signs.
Snarky's good.
Yeah, because hey, do what?
What's an example of one of the snarky signs?
What's one example of one of our snarky signs? My brain just died.
Dinosaur. Let's see. Dinosaurs have no coffee. Look what happened to them.
Yeah, dinosaurs have no coffee. Look what happened to them.
Good.
Yeah, and coffee spelled backwards is EFOC. Don't fuck with my coffee.
Ah,
That's it.
And you know they're
Adulting honorable mention.
yeah, adulting honorable mention, things like that. Yeah. They're not really bad, but they're
Certified YouTube mechanic.
oh yeah, we got one who my wife made.
Those are the best.
It says certified YouTube mechanic.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
YouTube University.
Yeah, I can hand those out to a few guys.
Yeah, I bet you could. Because I swear there are a lot of people that I run into that they tell me all these things. Now, I'm not a mechanic per se. I never worked at it for a living, but I've done enough of it bleeding on my own engine for
Yeah.
myself to know when I'm being bullshitted. And the worst I ever was bullshitted was in Mississippi.
Really.
Yeah. And I'm from that part of the country. Well, long time ago. But yeah. Mostly we
Like, no,
did,
man,
we did
about that
engine
time I
is-
head on off. I
is
gotta wake up early
venting.
tomorrow.
Fumes of race fuel.
yeah. What are you doing waking up
Okay.
early, Terry?
Work.
Hey,
All right,
Yeah,
bro.
that's-
I'm past that stage.
well, God bless you. You know, I'm not. I still got a couple more years to go. Still got a ways to go.
Don't
I gotta go to
even
the office tomorrow.
look at it because all of a sudden one of these days you're going to turn around and go, "How old am I?"
Mm.
And you're not
Yeah.
going to believe
I
it.
feel that every day.
I just
Yes,
I've
and
just
it's worse.
found myself right now. I'm counting the weeks.
Yeah.
The race almost
Yeah.
race.
You know,
Did you decide where you're gonna move?
no, like I told the financial guy, I said one disaster at a time. Just one disaster at a time. But John, I was in your neck of the woods today. That's what I was saying before. I met a couple of guys that used to be at the job years ago. Good friends of mine. Met them for lunch at a place on Jericho Turnpike. And as I'm driving up, I'm going past the Dix Hill Diner. Closed.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Closed.
Get out of here.
Out of business. Then I go past Elwood Hardware. The windows are just all papered up.
Oh
gone.
yeah. The two brothers that I went to high school with owned that place,
Uh-huh.
and then they sold it years ago.
Yeah.
They got a boatload of money for it. I think both of them retired. So
Wow.
I don't know who actually owned Elwood Hardware, but yeah, that's weird.
It's all papered up. It still has a sign, but the windows are all papered. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff has changed up that
And then
way.
if
But
you
I went
go
right
past-
over the intersection
Go
of
past
Lockfield and
Elwood
Colmack Road.
Hardware.
Yeah.
On the same side, like the next building, there's like an adult novelty place there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ex-girlfriend owns that one.
Nice.
The model. Yeah, the ex-girlfriend. The very first building was her dad owned that whole piece of property, and he had he used to do glass storefronts.
Yeah.
And then she used to do sandblast art.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Glass.
Like etching, yeah.
She made me a beautiful mirror that she sandblasted Firebird into it.
Nice.
It was awesome. And then when I was moving to the other shop, I went to take it off the wall and put it down and broke the corner off of it.
Ah.
And I was like, yeah, ridiculous.
You know, I wanted to ask you because I was right there. That bakery where you get that the crumb cake.
Larkfield
top.
Road, yeah.
Larkfield and what?
You got to go Larkfield. You're going to go north on Larkfield, and then when you get to Cedar Road,
Okay.
it's the that shopping center. Once you pass Cedar Road, it would be on your left side.
You remember the name of the bakery?
Hummel.
Hummel?
Yeah, that's the name. It's a
Hummel,
German
Hummel.
bakery. Hummel. The home of the coffee cake pizza.
Hey, German bakery, best
So
type.
when you get to the intersection of Larkfield and Cedar, there's a bank on the corner, and that shopping center is directly behind the bank. And that's my mom's house is over there.
Okay.
Right off of Cedar Road.
Gentlemen, have a good night.
All right,
Later,
Terry.
Terry.
Terry, take it easy.
Take care, everyone.
Catch you, bro. Yeah, that bakery's awesome. And there's an awesome German delicatessen like next door.
That's good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Great place.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's a good bakery if you get back there again. Should have called me while you were there. I would have told you exactly where it was.
Well,
You could have stopped in.
As I was on Jericho crossing Lockfield Road, and I said, "Okay, I know I'm close, but I don't know where." I figured it was north of there,
Yeah, it is.
but I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I said, I never did ask him exactly where it is. I got to find
Oh,
out.
yeah, you should have just called me. I would have sent you right there.
Yeah, I had to meet these guys. You know, we were catching up, so I was looking for the place I had to go. It's a place called I almost said Justin's. It's fuck, the name of it. Damn it. Johnson's? No. Fairly new place.
We have Johnson's barbecue here. It's phenomenal.
Let me see if I saved the text to myself.
Anyway, I'm sitting here.
Jackson's. Jackson's.
I don't know that. That must be relatively new.
Yeah, they're around. There's a couple of them around. It's not the only
Yeah.
one, but it's
I don't get it. For some reason, my race motor is venting the smell of like C16.
which motor? The one you have?
The one from the
The
black
bench?
car.
Really?
And it hasn't run. This motor hasn't run in like a year.
It's outgassing.
It's outgassing. There's no headers on it. The ports are wide open, but
Right.
I'm sitting here and there's literally race gas fumes coming up out of the motor.
Could be worse fumes.
Like, you know what it could be? It could be that it was so fat it got in the oil and it's venting out.
Yeah. Pull a
But
dipstick.
why now?
Give it a
I mean,
sniff.
the whole time. No, there's no dipstick in it.
Oh, none?
I pulled the dipstick out of it to get the headers off and everything.
Yeah.
And the dipstick is the dipstick's sitting right here on the manifold.
Stick it in the pan.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole tube and all. Yeah, you took the whole tube out. Okay.
Yeah. No, I like the smell.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. It's like I said, there could be worse smells coming out from under your bench.
Right?
Sure
It's
could.
awesome, but I just don't know. I'm here every week and I don't smell it. Now
Yeah,
all of
you-
a sudden I do.
Never said that before. Yeah.
It could be because it's warm in
Maybe-
here tonight, maybe. I
Maybe
don't
the
know.
temperature is just right or something. Yeah.
It's got to be the humidity or the temperature is just perfect for it to off gas.
Boy,
But I
we're
bet
not-
it's in the oil because this thing was running crazy fat when I got a dead cylinder in this motor.
we're not even using that word, that H word yet. We're not even close to using that word yet.
Oh yeah, no, it's getting humid here. It's Florida.
Yeah.
That's why they make AC.
Right.
The other motor, well, that's the motor that you and I sent you photos of. It's never been
Right.
run.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. And it's a shame that because I can't talk to this guy,
Mm.
so I don't know. But pulling the valve cover off, the heads are dry. There's never been oil on them.
So's the cameraman and the driver.
Pulled the intake manifold off, and it was perfectly clean in there.
Yeah.
So I didn't know the size of this motor.
It's almost like it's a fresh build.
I don't know if it's a 396, if it's a 427, if it's a 454, if it's bored out.
Well,
I don't know what the
you can read the
compression
casting
is.
you can decipher the casting numbers to see what it started as.
Yes and no. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's a 4-bolt block, a 2-bolt main block, or nothing.
Right.
It's a shame that I'm getting the impression that this motor has not been run yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Everything is absolutely phenomenally clean and mint. It's all put together with ARP hardware, but I got to pull a head off this thing to see what it is.
Yeah, I would want to pull a pan and maybe even
Yeah, I'm
pull
going to
a,
pull
you
the
know, pull
pan
a
and
cap,
pull a head.
pull a couple caps, take a look at the bearings, maybe throw a little plastic gauge in there.
Yeah, re-oil everything and
Right.
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 Prime it before I put it in the car and start it. But
Right.
Just do it dry. She likes it that way.
Do it dry.
yeah, right.
And don't use any zinc in the oil.
Nah.
No zinc. Fire it up on straight synthetic.
There you go.
I have, like I said, I think I've decided that it's got a hydraulic cam in it,
Okay.
based on when I had the manifold off. Push on the rocker arm and the plunger goes in.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, the springs are kind of a dead giveaway too. The valve springs give it away.
So I don't know,
No.
but I don't need horsepower out of this, but I need a motor that runs.
Right.
You know? And like I said, I don't know what this is. And the guy that I bought the car from, who bought it from the other guy, he told me that the thing was going to be raced and it was going to be running on alcohol,
Yeah.
which means it's got like insane compression.
I mean, Captain Lee would probably grip those guys that were screaming at his
So
scooter with
I
shoulder.
don't,
I want to
until I pull ahead, I don't know what's going on inside this motor. And if it's got big dome pistons on it, then
Well,
I'm modifying everything and I'm going with low compression.
right.
Because I just need a 93 pump gas motor.
Just mill the tops off them.
Do that.
Shave them.
Throw them in the Bridgeport and just cut them off.
There you go.
For the price, it's cheap enough to buy pistons these days.
Yeah.
You know. If I don't
What's
get
new in
my
the shop,
back
Justin?
together, I ain't gonna be working on it at all.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Get cars out, getting cars in. I think we shipped 5 of them today.
Man, you guys have a hell of a turnover. That's great.
Well, it's kind of nice now. We're shipping more cars than we're getting in,
Okay. Well, that's
and then we
good.
have to figure out where to put them.
Yeah.
You got those
No.
lifts where you can stack them.
We got a couple hoists. We don't have anything like that, but we got a lot of cars tore apart.
Yeah.
So waiting on this for this one, waiting on this for that one.
I
I'm
hear
putting
that a
the,
lot. Everybody's waiting for parts. I mean, I got involved in that with the rear end on the car. Couldn't get a
Yeah.
center section for a while. Couldn't get axles. Couldn't get bearings. Unreal.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
did get my
wheels.
studs though.
Oh, good.
Finally,
There you go.
from Mark Williams.
It's only okay.
Okay.
He's got his are super nice.
I mean, he might be being a jerk to the girls, but he's
That
just being
big
a jerk
giant
to staff,
15,
not
16,
he's being a jerk. Yeah, he's being a
flanged
equal
nut.
opportunity jerk.
Right.
It's recessed, and the spacers that you put on over the shank of the stud actually lock into the nut.
Oh, nice.
Step. They got a
Okay.
step on them. Let me go grab one. They're really cool, and I have them on the other car. I love them because when you go to pull the nut off, you're pulling the washer off with it
Right. Right.
instead of having all of these extra pieces.
Cool.
Yeah, no, we're staying busy getting ready for car show season. We got one this weekend. Two weekends from now. That time of year.
Close by, local shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Nice. Yeah, that's a good revenue generator. You know, people see your stuff, and then, you know, yeah, I got a car. Want to do this car for years.
Yep. And we talk to so many people at shows. And
She's on her phone too,
yo,
so
even
she-
if we talk to 50 people, we get one job out of it. It's worth it.
She's the Wi-Fi. Now she's
Yeah.
on
And then you just get the name out. You got to get the name out there, and then people will remember.
Yeah.
Boy,
That's why she's
I wish I could wear no shoes in my garage and not get a.
I got a what do you call it? A polyurethane floor.
Yeah, I don't. I got a shitbag floor. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Nice, very nice.
And they snap together when you go to put it on, so it becomes part of it.
Right.
And then it actually you can rotate the washer on the nut, and it'll spin.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really good. It's a nice job. They do a good job. Mark Williams is
Yeah.
ass kicking stuff. So it's cool. And they have different size washers based on, your wheel thickness.
Right.
So the studs are extra long, and it allows you to do whatever you need to do.
One of the guys I was having lunch with today, he's into boats. I was telling him about your new marina setup that you're telling me
Yeah.
about. He's like, "Whoa, that sounds really cool." I'm like, "It does, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, I just whacked my knee against the stud.
oh, nice.
The race motor's got studs for the headers.
Yeah.
I just whacked my knee against it.
Well, that's what happens
I
when you
didn't
keep a
cut it.
motor under your bench on where you sit
Two of them.
with your chair.
That's it. Two of them. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I got the boat back. That was an $800 bill. I got robbed.
Yeah, you were spending a lot of money this week. Pressure washing, between the pressure washing and the boat.
Yeah, that was a $400 bill for the pressure wash guy.
Man.
But oh god, you wouldn't believe it. The house looks like it's like when you drive by, you get that little like star twinkle. My driveway is awesome.
I mean,
The
I
path,
would probably.
The house,
I really
the
can't. say.
leaders, the gutters,
Or I would have
the-
smelled the hint
the
till they
white
swung it.
fence.
Then I would have landed them on the ass with
It's
that.
all absolutely perfect.
I was telling my wife about that, and I said, her sister and brother-in-law moved down to Florida a couple of years ago, and you and them would be perfect neighbors because Tony does things. I said, two New York guineas would be like, and Tony does everything the way you do. I mean, everything is top shelf. He spares on nothing. You guys, if you would like take over the block wherever you were,
Well, it's like me and my neighbor Al. Al's from Westchester,
Uh-huh.
right next door. You get two Ginzo Italians side by
Right.
side.
Right.
And he put cameras everywhere
Oh yeah.
because he lives on the corner.
Uh-huh.
So he's out there one day. He bought a bunch of cameras for around the house with a multi-screen DVR deal. Then, like 3 weeks later, I come out. I'm going to work, and he's outside, and he's digging a trench in his front lawn. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm putting a camera on that oak tree that watches the entrance to the development."
Oh wow.
Because he's on the corner and there's a one lane in and one lane out, So he's in the perfect spot where he can see what comes in and he can get license plates and see what goes out.
Yeah, that's
know?
good.
So he's on the HOA board for my development. And he's got the DVR, and if anybody says something happened, he's got a record of it. Because where I live, it's only one way in and one way out.
Right.
There's a big, when you make the turn in, there's a big dead end sign.
Nice.
Because the road is just a big giant circle with a couple of roads branching off of it, and
Yeah.
that's it. You can only come in one way. You can only leave the other way. Done deal. So yeah, he watches. He's like the neighborhood watch guy.
Yeah. Neighborhood watch.
Then he upgraded the cameras. The HOA gave him money to upgrade to a better camera that had better night vision.
Yeah.
and
4K
color.
with night vision.
Yeah. So he's got that. So it's pretty cool. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a good time. It's awesome. And then I got the guy that lives across the street. Him and his brother are correction officers for the county, and they're real super good friends with the sheriff. So I got protection right across the street. Don't have to worry about anything.
Good.
The guy on the other side of me, his ex-military. He was in what do you call it? Desert Storm. It's 8 p.m. So you don't mess around with him.
You know, interesting story. Since you mentioned that, it was just in the Daily News yesterday. There's a guy. He's a black guy, which really has nothing to do with it. It's just the way it is. But he's got a restaurant up in way uptown, like almost in Harlem.
Yeah.
He's had it for a long time, but he's partners with his brother. His brother was in jail a few times on narcotics charges. He's out now. And this guy just got pinched for selling kilos of coke at the kilo level. Now that's
oh my God.
Fed stuff.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is that the Biden wants to give him amnesty because he's a Desert Storm vet and he probably has PTSD. And it was all these convoluted reasons, like the guy's dealing kilo levels of, he's hooked up like with the Mexican cartels.
Yeah.
But they want to give him amnesty. I'm like, what do you got to do in this world to go to jail anymore? Like, what do you got to do?
Well,
I got friends.
They're probably going to use him for information.
Well, maybe that's if he plays. Yeah.
I got friends of mine that went to Desert Storm. I got friends of mine that have gone all over the place, retired military and all that. They don't sell drugs. Some of them don't even want to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when you're doing kilo shit, I don't care if you're
dude.
black, white, or brown
Right.
or green.
Yeah.
Jail.
That's
Nice
crazy.
long term.
Exactly, but not to the administration. And now in Suffolk County, you're going to love this. They came out with this program where they're going to have another amnesty program for people who get pulled over with like tail lights out or headlights out. The cop now, if he senses the person is maybe would have trouble paying the bill to get the car fixed, instead of coming back to them with a citation, he's going to give them a voucher that's good for up to $250 for the repair.
Yep.
And there's a couple of shops. There's a repair shop and a body shop that's on board. And you got to see the way the paper's been lighting up with everybody writing in, complaining like, "Hey, where's my voucher when I need to buy gas? Or where's my voucher when I get hit, pothole on the LIEs blew out my tires?"
Right.
Like, since when you got a car, you got to maintain the car. What the fuck? So we went to lunch today, and I left with these guys, and we went down Jericho 454, and I went down I went down to SAG. He was going to get on the LIE. I went right down to the South Shore, came back on the Southern State. From behind him at the light, he's in his Bighorn pickup. And I noticed like his brake lights are lit, but his third brake light was out. So when I get home, I took a picture of it with my camera. And when I get home, I sent him the picture. I said, John, by the way, your third brake light's out. He's like, oh, no big deal. He says, I'll get a voucher for that. I'm like, you ain't getting no voucher for that. You're driving like a $40,000 truck. You're white. You got money. They're like, you ain't getting a voucher. He goes, why not? Everybody else does. I'm like, yeah, good luck. Go try and put your voucher in.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, I always thought you own a car, you get a busted tail light. You bitch, you moan, you replace it.
Exactly.
Headlight goes out. You do that.
Right.
Now, if this means you might not have that 6-pack of beer tonight, too fucking bad.
Well,
Right.
You gotta fix your vehicle. Then you
Nobody
can go drink
fixes
beer.
shit anymore.
yeah.
No.
And that's the thing. And, there was a woman wrote in and she said, you could tell it was someone older by the way they were writing. And she was saying that she had a light go out. And what she did is she opened up her owner's manual and went on the computer to back it up and saw how to change it and went outside and went to the auto parts store, bought the bulb. She goes, and I'm 88 years old. She goes, if I can do it, she says, these other people can do it too.
Sure.
Like, there you go.
Hey, I agree.
See,
with
down
it,
here,
you know.
they have no inspection system at all.
Yeah.
They used to have an inspection system, and I don't know. Florida, it's just stupidity. It's, everybody's an
So
asshole.
you got too many old people down there with a lot of money who have bought the government out. Sorry.
Yeah, probably. So they don't have any inspection system, which is awesome for guys like me that want to drive crazy ass hot rods on the street.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get a title and plates. It's not like New York where the car's got to be inspected by somebody. Even like if I build the car and go to put it on the street, it's got to go and I don't know what, a sheriff or somebody got to look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which right away they're going to go, well, this is a freaking race car. And no, you're not putting this thing on the street.
Right.
Down here, they don't have that.
Yeah.
But they don't even have a safety inspection here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm out on the road all the time, and I got guys with bald tires. I got guys where the shocks and struts are so bad that either the front wheel or the back axle is bouncing like Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Going down the boards. I'm telling you. And they don't feel this in the vehicle.
Oh, sure they do. Sure
Tail
they do.
lights don't work. The guy
Right.
hits the brakes, he got no brake lights. Or they got no turn signals. It's ridiculous. One windshield wiper. Shit's falling off. The license plate is hanging there. It's held on through one hole in the license plate with a zip tie, from a loaf of bread. And
Yeah.
the plate's dangling in the wind. And nobody fixes a fucking thing down here.
I saw that when I was in South Carolina, and I asked my niece, I said, why am I seeing all these old, raggedy ass piece of shit cars on the road? Like, is there a rat rod car show going on? She goes, oh, no. She goes, if you drive a car a certain age down there, you don't they have like an age limitation, and then there's no
Right.
inspection or no. I said, no inspection. She said, no safety inspection either. I'm like, holy shit. I said, I'd be, fear for my life if I was down here. You don't know who the hell's next to you. You're going to snap a tie rod and just veer into
Oh,
you.
yeah. It's
I got
amazing.
too much pride in my vehicles to drive something that
Down here,
bad.
everybody's got something
This
that's
is the owner of a
super brand new.
Hey,
Yeah,
or
but
they've
but
got
it's
something that's older and it's falling apart.
Right.
I don't get it.
well, I got a 71 Ford that's rusty as hell, looks like hell.
Rusty's hell makes it look like a rat rod now. That's the in
Right.
thing. So
Right.
Yeah.
Clear
rust
coated.
is
But
good.
it is mechanically, it's good. You got damn good brakes, and you take and you roll the window down and you turn the key and it fires right up.
There you go.
I like that. Nobody's going to steal it because they got to figure there's nothing worthwhile in there to steal.
Right.
Better not be anything worthwhile to steal. I've never had to. You're not allowed to protect personal property.
Right.
Own you yourself.
Right. Or another
So
person.
So if I catch you stealing my vehicle, you attacked me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right offhand, you attacked me. I don't care what you attacked.
Did anybody see the video that's floating around? Some young kid with a bag was in, it was a gas station, a convenience store, loading crap in the bag, getting ready to walk out without paying. And the guy that owns the store, big burly dude, he catches him in the aisle, and the kid stops and turns and starts going to walk out. And this guy kicks him in the small of his back.
Oh.
And he goes flying face first into the big glass doors, where you got your soda and your milk and
Yeah.
your juice.
Yeah.
He hits it. I'm talking, if he hit this door a 100th of a mile an hour faster, the glass would have shattered.
Ah.
That's how hard this kid hit the door face first. Then he gets up and he leaves. The guy grabs the bag or something like that. So there's all these comments. A couple of them are like, good, because the guy's stealing and he needs to protect his store and fuck the kid. And then there's all of the tree huggers. Oh, well, you don't know what his story is. You don't know what his situation is. And he was doing it probably because he really needed that stuff. You know,
I know why
made
he
a
was
comment.
doing it.
I'm like, you know what? If you're in that position, go to a fucking shelter. They got everything you need: food, clothes,
Most every
cosmetics,
church,
all of that.
most every church will give you help.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I don't really care for churches because I don't go to them,
Me neither.
but they'll help you.
Yeah, yeah. You don't
You
walk
know,
into a
and-
convenience store and start ripping the guy off because your local government says, well, if it's less than $900, it's just a misdemeanor.
You know
No,
who
I'm
had to
sorry.
pay for that
if
shit?
If I'm the guy that owns the store, you're lucky you're even walking out of my store.
Yeah.
End of story. And I don't, all them tree huggers, you could say whatever the hell you want. I don't care about the story. Bottom line, you're a thief, and I got you.
Yeah.
And you ain't leaving the store till the cops come. Done deal. And you're gonna be hurting. They're gonna have to load you into the meat wagon.
Nowadays, being a thief like that is everybody's, oh, poor person, poor person.
It's running rampant
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah?
It seems to be really, really rampant on the West Coast. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
with your coast over there. It's like everybody's a
It-
fucking.
It's the air that you breathe.
Really all that
Yeah,
smog.
full of pollutants.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I can't believe that for a while. I think they finally cracked down on it here. When I say here, I'm talking about San Francisco and other places. Gang of people will go into a store and just start stuffing shit and run out the door
Right.
with it. And it's like, what the hell are you doing?
I saw a story and some video of it was like a flash mob that
Yep.
ripped off a Beverly Hills jewelry store.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They took it was one of the name stores too. And they cleared off like a couple $100,000. They literally emptied
And
the store.
the thing I don't get, every jewelry store that I have walked into my whole life, you've got an entrance, and then there's a door that you can't get through until they buzz you.
That's a man trap. Yeah.
And then once that door is closed, you ain't getting out of that store unless they let you out. So
Yeah.
how did these guys get in as a gang, do all of this damage, and get out, and nobody did anything? Because let me tell you something. The jewel stores here, they're all packing heat.
Yeah.
You take something, whatever it is, and you bust the showcase and start trying to grab stuff, you're going to get two in the back of the head.
Yeah.
There's one of my
End of
favorite
story.
firearms writer, Masad Ayub.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of his books.
So do I. I'd love to take one of his classes.
Yeah.
But he believes in personal carry and concealed carry because once every generation, somebody in that generation has been saved by having a gun.
Right.
And I mean a pistol. And talks about, I think his uncle had a jewelry store in New York. Guy came in there to rob him. Needless to say, his uncle shot him and the cop came up and said, "Good job, Mr. Ayub." Now, those are not the days we have now,
I know the problem.
because now they would be, "Oh my God, you violated his civil rights," or his whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Now, see, the good thing here in Florida, if you shoot him while he's facing you, self-defense. Sorry.
Wait, in
Case
California, you can't shoot them in the back.
Right. Well, over here, you shoot him in the face, shoot him in the body, as long
Yeah.
as he's coming at you.
Well, what I can't
Nothing to worry
believe,
about.
and I'm amazed that California hadn't changed it. They have a, well, not eminent domain. Shit,
This
I
is his
can't remember
most-
the word.
Famous book right here.
Yes,
In the Gravest Extreme.
yes.
And the other one is the semi-automatic pistol and police service and self-defense.
There
These
you
are
go.
his two Bibles.
Read those in an airport, Ray.
I've actually highlighted sections of them. Are you kidding me?
Cool.
These
There
are
you
the
go.
Bibles, man. They really are.
You read. I got to get one of those. I got to get one of those to read in the airport because I like reading weird things when we're flying, so that people will leave us alone.
This
Yeah.
one was
Yeah.
printed in 1980,
There you go.
and the other one was the second printing. What the hell year is it? But yeah, his stuff still stands today.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
87 was the second one. Yeah. Good stuff. You got good taste, Papa Squirrel.
They, you know, I look at it.
Dry clean only. Oh my god.
I will not say anything bad about a store owner protecting his stuff because I don't like people stealing from me.
No,
Right.
of
And
course.
most of the time, Renaissance Fair and say they can't get something very valuable because since we make a lot of our stuff, the value is more our perceived value because of our work and whatever else.
Right.
But I was at one Renaissance Fair and I heard on the radio, Mama Squirrel caught a shoplifter. And you should have seen all the security personnel hauling ass over there. And one person asked one of them, said, why did you charge her? Were you worried about her? No, we wanted to protect the shoplifter.
Nice.
It's ridiculous.
And it was for a stupid $2 thing. So they bring the sheriff in, and the sheriff said, you want to press charges? And the wife goes, well, it's only $2. You could see the deputy going, oh, God. But she said, you know, if these kids, if you don't try to teach them when they're young, they're going to do it when they're older. Oh, hell yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going to press charges. He was much happier about that because
That's it.
too many. That's why we like to live in the more rural areas because most of the sheriffs around here are of the attitude if you catch them, just don't hurt them too badly.
Unless you're Grady Judd.
Right.
Oh God.
He's the best. I just love that guy. Every sheriff needs to be Grady Judd.
We had one, he retired a couple of years ago, and he was of the attitude if you didn't have a reason not to carry concealed, if you took his class and passed all the training, he wanted you to carry concealed because, as he said, his deputies, it's sometimes an hour to get to somebody or 2 hours. He wants you to be able to protect yourself. He also wants people that can give the deputy a hand if he's by himself in the middle of nowhere. Because he I don't know how this new one's done, but his attitude was if you see a deputy by himself and he's got somebody at gunpoint, you can always tell him, I've got a concealed carry. Do you want me to do anything?
Yeah.
That way, if he needs relief or he needs to go somewhere, you know.
Sure.
But I don't want to run into that because I just don't want to have to stand there and go, well, you shouldn't have moved.
Yeah.
Because that's what our firearms instructor said his last day at work. It was his last day and they did a raid. And he had a guy down on the ground and he told him, said, you know, when I was a young guy and skinnier, I used to love to chase people like you. But he said, I'm old and I'm fat. If you move, I'll just shoot your goddamn ass. I said, Nishiyama, did he believe you? He said, yeah. I didn't have to shoot him. Sounds good to me.
Perfect. It's unreal.
But that's why we don't want to go into places like San Francisco and that anymore than we have to, because too many of the mayors and the people around there are, oh my God, you should give them the stuff, because we actually had one police officer say that if we didn't charge so much, people would steal from us.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, huh?
My friend looked at the guy and said, uh-huh.
You know, at a Ren fair, I don't think anything there is that essential that you can't do without it. It's all.
Oh God, there's nothing there that's essential.
That's what I'm saying. It's just vanity purchases. So you don't need to even be there if you don't have any money in your pocket.
Exactly.
As I told somebody one time, I will tell you exactly when our economy is really doing good. When people come to a Renaissance fair and just spend money.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing we sell there that is essential for life.
Right.
Like a grocery store and things like that. When people will come and just hand me money, I miss that. 'Cause,
Exactly.
what was it, about 10 years ago when we hit this big depression? We went from making $1,000 a weekend show from making $3,000 or $4,000 down to making $800,
Yeah.
and then it went back up. That's why I love to go up near Washington. Boeing in that has always had money,
Yeah.
so I
Well,
want their money.
It's coming again.
Oh, it is. We're gradually building it. We're gradually working on it. As soon as we get rid of a few people.
This inflation is not doing good, and interest rate going up. There's going to be a crash again.
Oh yeah.
And it's insane that the housing market is ridiculous. It's great if your house is paid for and you got someplace else to go already.
Oh
You
yeah.
sell your house for 3 times what you bought it for.
It went up 10% here on Long Island in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
The funny thing about our house was we bought it 20, oh my God, I don't know, how long we been here? 25 years, $200,000. It's valued now at 500,000, almost a half. I'm like, how can I have a $500,000 home?
Yeah.
And it's a summer cabin with 1,000 square feet. But that's how ridiculous prices up here have gotten.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, it is. But it'll never go down very much because we don't have beachfront property. But you go out of our road, go down the road in front of our house about a couple of 1,000 feet, you're on the beach. State
cool.
Park.
Yeah.
So I'll just sit here and watch my value go up.
Sure.
Because it's almost paid for, like radio. It's almost paid for. And once it's paid for, I'll be really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on by you, Brian?
Not much. Just trying to
If those two think that each
survive.
need to come here with you and
So it seems like everywhere I turn, there's a vintage Porsche these days. There's on Adam 12. Now it's on the what the hell's the name of that freaking TV show?
The Nixon thing.
I sent you last night. Yeah, it's actually a pretty damn good show. I just can't remember the name of the show. It's one word, starts with a G. It's leading up to the Watergate thing. You know, that's what pissed me off. On Sunday night, they premiered the show on Stars Network. And then last night, they showed a new episode. So I said, okay, they'll do that. They'll have the first night on one time, and then the next week, it'll hit its normal night. So I sat down last night to watch it. It was the same episode. It was, even though they said new, it was season 1, episode 1 again. It was the same one they showed Sunday. But
I thought you were talking about Porsches like we've been seeing around here lately. There must be a Porsche club that came up touring through here because they had a bunch of the old boat tail Porsches, and I love those.
Yeah.
We've actually got a Porsche in the shop right now.
yeah,
Really?
what model?
Wow.
I don't even know. I don't know them that well. It's like an late 80s, I think. It's got the engine, transaxle, torque tube out of a Corvette.
Oh,
Really?
It's not. It's the motors up front and trans in the back.
The
Yeah.
whole setup out of, I don't even know what year Corvette.
it's a Corvette transplant.
Yeah.
I guess there's a company that like makes all the parts for it.
Yep.
You got to be
Yep.
kidding me.
There's probably a 928. It's It's probably a 928. You could
Yeah.
cram
Funky
one in
rubber
a 944, but it's very, very tight.
Yep, that's what it looks like. I just googled that.
928. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got those roundish headlights that flap up. The 44
It's
had
like
the flat
risky
fender.
business. Who's the U-boat commander?
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
you
always
all
liked the
remember that.
44s.
What?
I always liked the 944, although many people didn't.
Yeah. The 944 was actually a very balanced car because it was 4950, 4951 weight wise, and it was a very stable, balanced car.
And what's the 944 stand for?
That's the model number. That's all the numbers on the car. Or the numbers on the car were the plant number or the manufacturer number, plan wise. So, like when they did the 356, that was, and it's like I said, till later on when they all started using some of the similar parts, all those parts were stamped 356, and then of course it went into 911, and then when each car line, but it was the design or the manufacturing, the coding at the plant when they were drawn up or whatever, and that was until they got into. They still have numbers on the car, but now they have names.
Cayenne,
Cayenne, and all that. There still is a numbering system with them.
So they didn't take a cue from American stuff like 442.
No.
No, not really, but.
Okay.
But then the 944, then you had a 951, which was the turbo version of the 944. The 911 was an aspirated motor. Then the 930 was a turbo motor.
And you had the
I've seen
956.
some with an S at the end.
Yeah, that's their version of your SS Camaro or SS Chevelle. It's their performance.
That's like BMW with the SSIs and.
Yeah, and then you know how like BMW has like their
or TII
X, the X. Well, that's Volkswagen,
right? Well,
but
BMW, the early 2002s with TIIs. That was the injection.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a German thing. That's what the
right.
Still trying to figure out how Mercedes-Benz comes up with their numbers: the 250, the 300, the 350.
Yeah, well, those are all. It's basically the same thing, John. Those are chassis numbers.
Or who was
body,
it? Was it
that's
BMW
chassis or body
it?
numbers?
It was the size of the engine. So like the 250 was a 2.5 liter, and the three, like a BMW 3.0 was a 3 liter. They went by the engine size also. They usually tie it in like that.
But those like you had on the Mercedes you had like you're right on that because it would be like a 2-door. They could have that in, or they'll have like a 156 chassis, which was like the 300s, I think. The numbering, same thing with Audi was the same way. All those Germans were.
I was gonna say even like with the Fiat, the like the 124, that was the chassis designation. There was a 124, a 128, a 131. It was all the designation for the chassis architecture.
Yeah.
And then they had names too, like like my 124 is a 124 Spider. It goes by either name, and they had the Brava, the Punta. Some of them had names.
I would have to. I don't know. I guess I would have to look on the window sticker on Barb's car. I couldn't tell what kind of motor's in that thing if it sneezed at me. Because when you open the hood, the whole engine compartment is completely covered in this plastic cladding.
Exactly.
You can't see anything.
Yeah.
They
had. Did you see the thing from Rob Ida, the Porsche posters?
No.
When he did on his TikTok. Yeah. Man, I unburied I have 25 years of those calendars and those pictures.
Oh, how cool!
I'd love to. I don't have a wall big enough to have them framed. Let me see here. I had when I was cleaning out. But this was guess I didn't. I thought I saved it. So here's like there. See, I don't know if
Oh wow,
Oh,
That's cool.
wild.
that's a
That's-
Benz.
that's a Porsche,
Porsche.
and that's an Airstream one. And then here's this is a 917. It's one of the race cars.
Okay.
And
Oh, the mobile car.
Yeah, the
then
917 's a
I
beautiful
also
car.
found, and I wish I could find more. I know I have more of them, but the Audi Quattro. This calendar was 1989, but it was on the the race cars. These are the ones that were all banned because they'd come over the 4-wheel drive system, and these were all just 5-cylinder turbo cars, and they were wiping everybody's ass because of the balance and
Quattro was an awesome rally car.
right. But
I
then
had
when they came out onto the street, as the more the street deteriorated, these things got better, and they kept adding weight to them. They had to add so much weight to them to make them competitive. They were still kicking everybody's ass.
Wow.
Incredible
I had a
car.
5-cylinder Audi, and it did run exceptionally well.
Yeah, my 5 cylinders. Like I said, I put a cam in it and degreed it a little bit. It ain't the quickest thing off the line, but I tell
Right.
you one thing though,
Top end.
Once it
top
gets
end,
rolling.
dude. You
Yeah.
get that thing, and it's got 411 gears in it, dude. That's the funny part about it. I mean, it's
That's a lot of gear for a short street tire car.
yeah,
Yeah.
411s.
Well, you know, but then again, like my Fiat, it's a 4-cylinder, dual overhead cam 4-cylinder with a 5-speed, and it came with 13-inch tires. That's got 390 gears in the rear.
yeah,
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So did I make a mistake by buying 350s for mine?
These foreign cars, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
No, then again, I got 373s in my car, and I wish I had a 4-series gear. It's just, with the 5-speed, it's just a game changer.
yeah.
You'll be all right with the 3-speed.
Cruising at like 2,400 RPM.
I'm cruising like 1,700 RPM.
Yeah. I
Yeah, it's
forget
crazy.
what
I don't think about 50
exact
till I'm doing
it is.
70.
where's that chart?
So, yeah, crazy stuff. I don't know what I want to do with all that stuff. Tell you.
I have a boatload of stuff here too. I'm thinking about opening an Amazon store.
RPM to mile per hour chart. Here we go.
I don't. I keep like I just came across. I have all those service manuals. It's just unbelievable, and those. I don't know why I kept them, but I have all the sales brochures. I mean, I got like 20 years of all that crap.
Yeah.
It's funny looking at it, though.
Well, the
It's
thing
funny
to do is to sell it. You try, sell it as a package to a collector.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Got to find somebody that has that year car or wants the like I said, all the paint code. The only reason I know why I saved all that stuff, because in the literature it had the paint codes and it had all that stuff. Where one thing about Germans, they only print something one time. It's very hard to go back and find something, or when they lay something out, they figured if they printed it once over there, if you want that information, it's over there. There's no reason to put it over here. So that was one thing that you learned pretty quick about. You got to watch what you threw away, because it was one time or one drawing or whatever,
Yeah.
So it was something I was going to ask you, Ray, and it was about your show the other day, and I can't remember now. You said something on there. I'll probably
A lot of
remember
things on
about
there.
3 a.m. You might get a weird text.
Yeah, it's all right. I say a lot of weird things on there, and believe me, I got people all week asking me about stuff. Hey, what was that you were talking about? I don't know.
Yeah,
Give me a clue.
I can't remember now. I was on.
We were talking about oil, talking about bulbs, bulb replacements. You know what? I'll show you what I'll do if I open this binder, and if I go to the last week's.
Oh, here we go. Got one of them texts.
Go to my show description.
Shipping notification. Hi, we received your items with tracking number
Oh yeah.
M2XH5J87. Boy, that took some time to figure out.
Delete.
At our sorting center, please confirm your delivery address to schedule a delivery.
No.
Unclaimed items will be returned to their original sender. So now I go and I answer
Uh-huh.
PLE. Please deliver to your mama's what?
You're a nice person, John.
Right.
There you go. Please
See,
deliver
Brian,
to your mama's twat.
We talked about problems with changing oil, red light camera rant, Suffolk County bulb repair we talked about. The challenging
way.
bulb replacements, Ford Escape battery replacement, tailgating New York drivers, the Ford 4100 carburetor, how that's the worst carburetor ever made, and then dune buggies that were in Shriners parades. That's kind of like that's a little bit of a
That was a little bit of a.
that's a little bit of a different kind of a radio show, right? You don't really hear that on every talk show.
Only the interesting ones.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Cliff bought that dune buggy. He's a retired auto crimes cop from the city here, and he had a Roadrunner. He bought a beautiful Roadrunner, and then he touched it up and made it even more beautiful.
Well,
and
yeah.
he just said he sold it to some guy upstate, and that's why he bought the dune buggy, just to fill it in the interim and have some fun in the summer.
What year was the Roadrunner?
69.
Oh,
Oh man, I love
It was a bronze color too, so it was a weird. It was bronze with like a tan interior. It was an oddball color combination. Magnum 500s. It was a 383 automatic. Yeah, it was an automatic, I believe, a column shift automatic. So pretty standard there.
My buddy Steve Calandrino lived across the street in Down One. Had for graduation present, his father
Nice.
bought him. He graduated 74, I think. Bought him a 1970 Roadrunner.
I like that year.
383,
I like the 70s.
4-speed with the pistol grip shifter.
Yeah, yeah.
It was that. Oh, Chrysler made this beautiful, like a LED blue color.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's not F5. I think it's F. It's one of the F, like F5.
It has some
B5 is
metallic in
blue.
it.
Yeah, there was a the B5 blue. One of them is a metallic, one of them is a single stage.
Yeah,
but I know
it's
the
a
color.
metallic blue
Beautiful.
with blue vinyl interior.
That's the quintessential color for that car, in my opinion.
Yeah, black carpet,
Yeah,
and it was 383, no power, anything,
right.
manual
All
brakes,
powers under the hood.
right.
all you
383
need.
4-barrel, yeah, Magnum 383 Magnum 4-barrel.
Nice, nice.
What a car with that
Love the
pistol
70s.
grip shifter.
I love that body
What a
style.
beautiful car in the console. Oh man,
So
I love
speaking
that
of-
car.
All right, so speaking of pistol grip shifters, I'm glad you said that because I wanted to talk to you about this tonight, and I totally forgot until now. I'm going to be going back to the garage. That super shifter I showed you, that sent you the picture of.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to buy it.
yeah. You should
So, what do you think I should pay for it?
look around on eBay.
I did. They go from this $399, $500.
Yeah,
Then there's all the parts and pieces. I mean, this is complete except for the stick, but I got a
just
stick.
minus a stick. That's it. Needs a cleaning and a stick.
I mean, I don't know. Would I be crazy to throw them $300 if I had
I
to?
don't think so.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring a. I'm gonna
Because you
bring
can't
about.
find them.
I know.
Are you buying a transmission with it?
Well, he'll probably want me to take the whole damn thing, so I'm gonna bring like a half a yard with me, and I'll,
Yeah.
you know.
Did you find out anything about that tranny? Is it close ratio, wide ratio? What's
No.
the first gear?
I have them in back. I think it's a boy. I think it's a T10.
Yeah, it's based on the cover.
Right. I believe it's
Everything
a
I looked up
T10.
said it was a T10.
So yeah, I'm
'Cause
gonna
it's
go.
round. It's round on the bottom.
Right.
Muncie's were
Kinda
like a parallelogram,
flat.
sort of
Right.
flat on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going back there Saturday, so I'm gonna bring cash.
Yeah. I would. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't need it. I don't need it.
Super shifters are so rare.
Yeah.
I to be honest with you, I want to know who's the guy at Hearst that said we don't need to make those anymore.
Right. Right.
It was made specifically for road racing
Yeah.
with the reverse lockout and with the 6-inch stick or 7 stick.
Right.
It's 4 3/4 inches from first to second.
Yep.
Second to third, third to fourth. It's the shortest H throw pattern ever invented,
Right.
and they stopped selling them.
And that reverse locking, that one I think it said you pushed it. You pushed the lever.
Yeah, you push the red lever down, and then
Right.
you can bring the shifter all the way over
Yeah.
and up.
Right.
There were other super shifters
Well, you
that
push the
didn't have
stick
that
down.
lever. You had to push the stick down.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what foreign cars did. It was always push the stick down and put it in reverse.
Yeah.
Super Shifter 3 is the one where you got the little red lever.
Right.
That's a Super
And I looked
Shifter 3.
I looked at the picture on the plate. It just says Super Shifter. I don't see a 3 on it, but it's got to be.
No. It'll just say Super Shifter, and then there's like a part number for it.
Right. Right.
It became a Super Shifter 3 was the model that they sold when they added that red lever.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get just the shifter with the rods. But if I have to take the whole tranny, I'll take the whole damn thing.
Yeah. I love those shifters.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the way I was going to go
Right.
on this thing
Right.
until the wife put the kibosh on it.
Well, I'll tell you, my buddy has a '69 Firebird that I'd like to get my hands on. I could probably get it.
Yeah.
I wish it was a convertible, but it's not.
Yep.
And I wish it was a 400, and it's not. It's a 352 barrel car with an automatic. But like, you know what? I got a motor, and I got 4 speeds out the yin yang, and I'll put that super shifter right in that console,
I would leave the 350 in it. Just put the manual behind it.
and just like have the, because that short throw needs to be in a Corvette or an F body, something with a console that is high.
Well,
like it wouldn't work in my
you're
car.
not going to put the super shifter in a console.
It won't fit.
Oh, no way.
No fit. No.
It's a good 3 inches off to the driver's side.
Yep. Because
There's not a console around that'll fit in.
That's when I had to open the hole up on the Mustang.
Because it's got straight rods. You got to
So the
close
mounting-
where the shifter used to come through.
So the mounting plate is different.
Right. You got to open up the tunnel
Okay.
in order to get that thing to work, and then
Got it.
put like the aftermarket Hearst boot
Right.
on it. But yeah, it won't work with a console. That's not a
Okay.
console shifter
All right.
at all. But I love that thing, you know. When Barb
Yeah.
was like, no, this car's got to have an automatic. Because I was going to go looking for a top loader and a super shifter. I found like 4 guys on eBay and also on Racing Junk that had, and you had to buy it in pieces. One
Yeah.
guy was selling the shifter, another
Well, that's
guy
what
was
happens to
selling the
all of them.
stick. This guy was selling the mount for a top loader, and the other guy had the linkage, and it was going to cost like $800
Yeah, that's crazy.
to put together one of those shifters.
That's the problem with all the Hearst stuff, all the 4-speed stuff.
Yeah.
They automatically break them down and sell each individual piece part. You got your box, you got your rods, you got your linkages, and all that
Well,
stuff.
Ray knows they do this with vintage drums too.
Oh, saved anything. Yeah, they piece everything out.
They tear them. I see ads for guys that will take like a blue and olive badged Ludwig,
Right.
and they take the shell and strip it, and they'll sell the shell, they'll sell the lugs, they'll sell the hoops, It's like,
Yeah.
why? Well, because I can make a lot more money that way. Just keep the fucking thing together and sell me the whole goddamn drum.
Yeah. Because then if you're looking for an original drum, like the ones I have, they're original together, except for the heads. Of course, they were changed. All the parts were born with that drum and stayed with it. And that's not that it matters. I mean, but it does if that's what you want,
Yeah.
It's nice to know.
Everybody's out to make the most money they can, ripping you off.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Well, like
Well-
you said, when you get into parts and numbers, trying to find the right error code for if you're trying to build something, put something together, and you gotta look through a box full of shifter levers to find the right born date type bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Now I was looking at the Super Shifter online, which took me, they've seen a lot of Competition Pluses and all. And I'm thinking of all the Competition Plus shifters I have hanging in my garage with all the rods hanging on them, because I take it out and leave it. And you kept the plate on it, put the bolts through a nut on it, bolt on a tranny, and you're good to go.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. There's the guys that do this restoration shit, these numbers matching crap.
Yeah.
I belong to a few of those on Facebook, so I
Right.
can actually find parts for this car.
Yeah.
I get people asking me questions. They're like, "Hey, do you happen to have?" Because everybody seems to think since I'm doing a 70, that I actually have parts for a 70.
Yeah.
And I'm like, some guy was asking me about, and it was for a 1970 400. It's an open case alternator.
Oh yeah,
And
the
it had
front
to have
plate.
certain numbers on it to be the one that would be on the engine when it
Yeah,
came off the Norwood line. And I'm
A
like,
date coded alternator plate.
really?
Yeah, jizz bag. I know.
It's crazy.
I know, but that's what they do.
Yeah. Well, some guys get off on that. I got the date coded alternator plate. Look, get the fuck out of here.
Big deal.
I know.
I have a set of hypo heads for a car for a guy that's looking. He's I can't remember what year it was. I think it was sometime in '68. I don't know. I think it was 68 or whatever. But when they had a problem with the heads, so if you took it into the dealer and they changed the head, you had the newer version head. And of course, it has the wrong date stamp codes on it because of the casting,
Yeah.
So this guy's got a super, super early fastback, even though they never really made a 64.5 fastback. It was all, a coupe or convertibles. His is super early, and it's a hypo motor, a K motor. Beautiful car, and it has one head on it had been replaced, and it's got the number. Now, technically, you go on by numbers, and it's still a Ford. It shouldn't really devalue or change because that's the replacement.
Could have had a service block in it too.
That's you had a problem. That's what they put on it, and it shouldn't really change.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, but I've got a set of heads. I got a set of hypo heads that have his date code on it.
Oh wow.
Or build time, and man, this guy. Every time I see him up at the Hot Rods on Sunday morning, he is on me like one of those little feeder fishes on a shark. He's just fucking all. And I told him, I said, dude, unless you come up with a set of NOS fenders for my car, I said, we're not talking.
So you never even talk money with them at all.
No.
But what about getting the cash? Then you could go buy the NOS fenders.
NSO fenders
If you can find them.
for those
Right.
are like over $2,000 a piece.
It's the one of the heads worth? They got to be worth a
I
nice
don't know.
chunk. I'm sure
I
they're
don't
not.
know.
They're not cheap.
But I mean, I have two old set and I have a set of 68 of the hypo heads. I got 3 sets of them. I mean, I guess I could be a nice guy and just let him have one, but
Well, tell him you want $4,000 for him.
I just
Let's
told
see what
him.
he says. Hey, maybe he'll pony it up because he says I got to have these heads,
Yeah.
and then you go get
I
your
don't know.
fenders instead
But then
of
I'll be
$4,000
pissed off
worth of
I
Entenmann's
sold 'em.
donuts.
Yeah, donuts.
You hear a truck backing up to the house. What's that? I'm getting a delivery.
Yeah.
There was
So,
a guy in one of the Firebird forums about six months ago, I guess, that he jumped on and he was cleaning out the garage, and he had 1970 front fenders and 1970 doors, GM, bought in 71.
Wow.
Still in the GM boxes,
Wow.
sitting on a shelf
That's holy grail stuff.
all of these years. And he decided, well, I'm not going to be doing anything with these, so I'm selling them.
Yeah.
He wanted $4,000 for the parts, but they're original GM. And the fenders on a 70 only fit a 70.
Right.
Or a 70 and 71. They change in 72 and in 73. But if you start getting into this craziness,
Yeah.
the fender itself, the inner part that comes over and then goes down and the hinge bolts to it, that part of the stamping is different every year.
Oh. Yeah.
Some of them have, I think the 70s are smooth. 71 has like wrinkles in it, like divots.
Yeah.
72 is something else. 70 completely different because it had to have these diagonal braces that support
Right.
the nose.
Yeah. The inner fender braces. Right.
Yeah. So, like the guy that I have here, the local guy, this is the guy that if you open up a hood on a Firebird, it could be like the thing would look like it's a 100-point, totally stock, stored forever. We'll take a look at it and go, those are 71 fenders on a 70.
Right. Right.
He'll open up the door and 1970 quarter panels only below the striker. There's an indentation in the door jamb that kind of looks like the state of Texas.
Uh huh.
Mine don't have that because they're aftermarket. They're square.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If it don't have the state of Texas, it ain't a 1970 quarter panel either. And he
Wow.
knows all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The guy's crazy.
My buddy Kevin sends me links all the time, and this week he sent me one, a Craigslist ad, and the guy had sold off his 69 Trans Am parts.
Wow.
I didn't get past the hood. The guy had got $10,000 for the hood. It was an NOS hood that was, and I saw the other parts. I didn't even look. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, 10 grand for the hood. Oh,
I've heard up to about 13 for those.
have you?
We did that one a couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
God, I think I'm so ignorant because all I want is a car with pieces on it.
With a
I
hood.
don't care if they match. I don't care if the engine matches numbers with the alternator. Just give it to me running and let me have it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't understand.
My buddy Joe is going to Texas to buy a Trans Am. I'm trying to think of which anniversary it is. Well, 69, 30th anniversary. It's the 4th gen.
That's 99.
The 99? Yeah, 99, right. It's a 99. White with the 2 blue stripes.
US 6. Yeah.
A convertible.
Yes. Guy
With
at
a,
the block had
six,
one.
with a 6-speed.
Yes. Very nice car.
Found it on Facebook, and he's going to Texas to buy the car. And
Yeah.
he did the research, and he found out that there was only X amount were made with that motor and transmission combination, and then a larger amount of that total were Canada only cars.
Wow.
So that makes the American ones even less, which makes them worth even more.
Right.
And this particular model, it's white, it's got a blue convertible top. The car has 7,600 miles on it.
Wow.
And he's like, I got to find a transport company. He goes, we're going to fly out. And he says, I got to find somebody to transport it back. And I'm like, are you
That's
nuts?
easy.
Drive that thing.
Well, yeah.
He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, don't be that guy. He goes, well, it's only got 7,600 miles on it. I go, yes, so what's another 1,000 miles to get back to Florida?
BJ Leno, drive your cars.
I think
Every
what I
one
would
of
be
them.
thinking about is a car that hasn't been driven, so the brakes,
No, this guy fires it up and takes it to Cars and Coffee. It just does. It's not a high mileage car.
Oh, okay. Then I would say drive it.
Yeah.
At one of my dealerships, the parts guy had one of those cars.
Yeah.
Same ones. It was same car you just said. It was the
The 99.
99 convertible white with the blue.
Back in the early 2000s, I was working. Well, late 90s, I was working for a guy up the block. I took summer work with him in his shop, and he did a lot of Corvette stuff. So he hired me because I work neat, and he could trust me with a nice car. So one day, this Trans Am shows up outside. Whoa, white, blue stripes, top down, white interior, WS6 badges. I'm like, whoa. Ends up it was he'd been divorced. This is now his girlfriend. He says, yeah, you see what I bought for my girlfriend? He's like, she wanted a vet. And I told her no. I said, I'll get you something better than a Corvette. And he bought her this WS6 Trans Am. And she was loving it.
Yeah.
So he says, hey, I'm like, yeah, it's a sweet looking car. So he throws me the keys. He goes, take it for a ride. I'm like, yeah, really? He's like, yeah, go on. He goes, put it through its paces. Take it down the highway. I'm like, wow. That car rode. That WS6 suspension was on the money. That thing rode.
I like that car. That car it's white with those two stripes, like the 69.
Just
fits
like the
that
69.
body perfectly.
It does. It was a very nice
and
driving car.
I really like that 4th gen Firebird.
Yeah.
That if I didn't have these things back again and I was gonna build a car, that's what I was gonna build.
Yeah.
They just make the most magnificent looking drag style car.
They make the perfect looking pro stock car.
Yes, they do.
That body is perfect.
Here you
WJ could drive one of those.
And I
Professor.
haven't had one for a while.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yes.
Look at that nose.
Yeah.
Look how long
Right.
that thing is. 50
Yeah.
inches from the peak at the grills to the center line of the front wheel.
Wow. Yeah.
Bad news. And who's driving it? Me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here's another picture of it. This is back when Freddie was driving it in Pro Stock. Oh, I lost my camera.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Had to go screwing around with the setup.
Yeah, right. What do I got to do? Go back out and come back in?
Well, just whatever. Why would you lose the camera? Isn't it part of your laptop?
No. It's on. It's got a cord, but it's plugged in. It's just not lighting up now.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's that time of the night to make a sandwich and get ready to run
Yes.
credit cards.
I was going to say it's
Absolutely.
that time. So for Lewis Lee and Plane in Traffic, we're going to bid you good night. Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio, Papa Squirrel, Justin Abbott, Metco Man Brian, Chassis John.
And witness protection.
Witness
Who's taking us out tonight? Justin, you want to do it?
All right, I can do that.
What do we always say?
The John says, the Chris says. Now I'm gonna say, don't follow us home.
Right. Unless you got what? You got to have. You can follow us home if you got
What
something
do you got
to do.
tonight? Chocolate chip cookies?
Nice.
That'll work.
For me, it's going to be a hunk of mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna
There you go.
have me some
Oh,
cheese.
yeah, that would
Yeah.
be awesome.
Oh, we got banana bread. The wife
that's
made
good.
banana bread with a little peanut butter on it. Heat it up. Oh my god.
I like
Oh,
banana
yeah,
bread.
Yeah, I like that.
If you've got food, we'll talk.
That's it.
And I'll tell you what, tomorrow morning, I'm making me a couple of fried eggs with some cheese and maybe some bacon. I'm putting it on a fresh croissant. And I'm going to
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be tomorrow morning's breakfast. So New York
Yeah.
style. So
Yeah, we got the wife goes, make sure you eat that banana bread. I said, don't worry. It's
Oh,
all
don't
good."
worry, hon. I'll
I
bring
was
some
like,
to the
yeah, don't-
guys. I'll share it. Right.
Yeah, man. That's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, you
All
all
right,
be
fellas.
safe.
Catch you on Sunday if you're around. If not, we'll catch you next week.
You
All
got
right.
it. You guys be
Talk
good.
later.
Later.
Okay.